But for now, learn to trade. Wow. I love our intro music.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That right there, I like the green, is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif, and we already have the OG Darwin joining us in the chat. What's up, man? We got Mahat. I'll get it right one time, I promise. We got Pitchbull, we got Mateus Lane, we got Benson. Good morning to you as well. Casual couldn't stay away, neither. I know you're talking to me. I'll get there. Oscarito, stock up. We got my man Adam DeLuce, a proper paradox, joining us as well. Killer Cam 1020, Pawns, the Fawns, Britt Ben as well. Julia C. Holiday, you two. The world's greatest moderator, Bears versus Bulls, always there in the chat. You were talking poetically a little bit to Nvidia before we got on. What were you saying to it?
Well, I was actually saying, to be honest, I was saying, Nvidia, can you do something for me?
Bang.
And then Sharif and I were singing Rich Flex by 21 Savage and Drake.
We were.
But yeah, thankfully, this trade was not her loss for me. Shout out to that album. I actually was able to make some money in this. I want to talk about why. So, I basically liked this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat about this. So we had this 139 area, which was kind of spicy. And so now, my short bias brain sees this and immediately thinks short. But I was like, Adara, don't hop into the short. Look at the confluence. Shout out to Obi. Look at the, the balance of the evidence. Be your own Sam Waterston from Law and Order and look at everything in the case. We had all of these bounces here off that 138 on a wick basis. We're holding the 90 MA, your favorite indicator. So just get involved. So I got involved here. 138.85. The plan was to kind of pop in and out here just above 139s, keep adding until we got that pop out. Nvidia would not let me add anymore. I wanted 138.89s, and Nvidia's like, I'll give you 91s, and then I'll pop like 50 pennies. How's that? And I was like, Nvidia, if you're going to get me the win, I'm not going to apologize. Took out part of the position about, what was this, like 20 pennies here. 139.05s, got the rest out, 139.30s, just based on when we kind of had a bit of a slowing in the book for the time being. So that was the deal there. Please just punch with this trade. Ready to see what else there are for these markets to give me. If we bounce off 139, I don't mind getting involved. What are you, I guess I was going to say, what are you looking at? But I know you've just kind of sat down.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things because I had to get on the computer and do the upgrades and downgrades in the lesson. So I was noticing, and I noticed AMD, 7 1/3. What the bad word? What's going on? 41.2 million shares. Is there a catalyst I need to be made aware of? Here it is. What is this? AMD shares are trading higher after the company said the recent cyber attack did not compromise any critical business information. Okay, cool. All right. I guess that's worth 7 1/3. Anyway, today, I'm just sitting down for the first time looking at key technical levels here. It looks like that $10 level on Apple is under attack, and it just got up right back into the 10 exponential again at 11 1/3. Katina man, and then it's dropping down again. Here we go into that 2.5. 210.10 LOD on AAPL. I'm going to be looking for obvious signs of weakness on this one, but not going to take a trade until we start the lesson du jour. I'm noticing a lot of down into the right and trying to recover a little bit. A lot of consistency in that pattern. You're seeing it on Apple. You saw it a little bit on Tesla, Nvidia, and the Fuge. All have that kind of down to the right and then bouncing up pattern. Again, we'll have to look at and see if there's any confluence between any of these guys on the day. But let's just get to the lesson of the day. We are talking about level 2 all week, and today we're going to specifically narrow it down with respect to volume on the level 2. So let's get right to it. Traders, sharpen your focus. Today, we delve into volume analysis, the king of the order book. Let's get right to it. So volume, the echo of conviction, just another fancy word of saying volume is one of the conviction indicators you should be looking for. Essentially, volume represents the total number of shares obviously traded at each price level. It's the voice of the market, essentially, reflecting the intensity behind the price movements. High volume, goes without saying, suggests strong conviction, either bullish or bearish, whichever way you're going, while low volume indicates a lack of interest. So we'll get to how that makes a bit more sense with the book in a second. So gapping up, decoding the volume story. So here we're talking about news catalysts having an effect on volume on the book. So news catalysts can cause stocks to gap up once the price jumps above the previous day's closing price. That's how we judge the gap based on the previous day's close. and relative to the open the next day. Volume plays a crucial role in interpreting the gap's sustainability. So what do I mean by that? High volume breakouts, right? If the breakout from the gap is accompanied by a high volume, it's signifying to you strong buying pressure and a potential sustained move upwards. This is a good sign for those who want to enter long positions. The low volume breakouts, these are the ones you need to be cautious of. When you get a break of a key resistance level or key support level and it's not accompanied by above average volume, we'll look at that, what that means in a second. These breakouts sadly are more susceptible to being filled, meaning the gap gets filled, which was the price returning to the gap area, and there's less conviction behind the move. So here's what we're talking about. So we're going to look at the book in a second, but based on the chart analysis, when you have a breakout of an obvious downtrend over here, and look at the volume bars to signify that that breakout through that level was legit. You're looking for above average volume, and you're going to say, well, what's above average? Well, just look at the preceding candles. It clearly stands out in that regard. This one, the exact opposite. Look at the gap down, but you don't have above average volume. In fact, it's more average than or more lower than average than anything else. And that area got filled pretty quick as it started rounding bottom. So volume as a measure of confirmation, or volume and confirmation. Volume analysis obviously isn't alone, integrated with other signals for confirmation. So we're talking about order book confirmation. So in this specific case, you're looking for high bid volume moving up with you as the price move up, concentrating at the breakout level. So it moves up with you, and then it gets to that key level of resistance, that 200 on Apple, before it broke out. And then, boom, it ends up breaking out. That reinforces the buying pressure, which suggested overall, this reinforces buying pressure suggested by overall volume. You're also looking for price action confirmation. How does the price behave after the breakout? Does it hold above the gap, or with continued buying volume, or does it quickly fall back into the gap area and fill the gap there, indicating a potential failed breakout? So look at this. This is an interesting one over here. So this is, I'm not sure what stock this is, but look at the amount of size sitting there at that 700, not allowing it to break down. Look at the countervailing side, the other side of that on the ask. I know it's about a 65 penny spread, but it's a $700 name. There's nothing there to show you that, okay, well, the sellers are stacking up, the short sellers are stacking up, and they're really going to break through that bid. So that's what you're looking for, an imbalance of volume on one side relative to the other. That's kind of the move. So beyond the breakout, right? Volume as a whisper, like the volume whispers. So volume analysis isn't limited only to breakouts, though. Here are some additional insights. So increasing volume on pullbacks. So what happens after you break that 200 level on Apple? When you come back to test 200, are you getting bounces off the 200 with increased volume? And do the subsequent candles after that bounce back, are they also on increasing volume? So essentially, if a stock pulls back after the breakout but finds support with increasing volume, it's suggesting buyers are stepping in, potentially indicating a buying opportunity. And oops, right there. And you also need to be cognizant, though, of sudden volume spikes. These can be quite bamboozling. Sudden volume spikes. Holy, I didn't even know Neil was on crutches, my man. Jeez. Yeah, I know. I didn't know he was on crutches, though. I'm just talking to Neil. Sudden spikes in volume, especially on seemingly random price movements, can be a warning sign of hidden news or manipulation. Be cautious and investigate before taking a trade. And so this is an interesting one of a high volume retest on a break of a previous resistance. Now it's current support. So you have that consolidative area there for many months, and you know you have a key area of technical resistance at that 135. I think this is the US dollar and something. So you have 135, you know you have a key area of technical resistance. You break out that area, and then what do? You have this obvious doji candle that's a bottoming tail candle that's very bullish. So the price broke down after it had broken above that key technical resistance, but it was bought up aggressively. That shows you buyers were very exuberant to continue the trend. And look what happened after that. It continued up. So you never want to place too much emphasis on one candle. But when you have that break of a technical resistance and then you come back and test it and it shows you something like that, like extreme buyer exuberance with the subsequent candle making a much higher high, then you kind of know that this breakout is legitimate. Or, you know, it puts more, you can't never be certain, but it puts it more in your favor. So volume and order types. So we want to talk quickly here about volume and how it's affected by icebergs, hidden orders, right? So remember these icebergs that we talked about at the beginning of the week? High volume after a partial iceberg order fulfillment can signal to you a much larger order lurking beneath, which potentially impacts the price action. And I got a video here for you guys. I want to show you how this actually happens. So we might need to play it a couple of times, but and essentially this is what an iceberg is, right? He's showing you part of his order. So if he has like 1,000 lots, he's showing you 100, and obviously the other part beneath goes, you know, unshown. So here it is. Look at 720 on the ask, and then look at the amount of lottage right there. Doesn't justify it not breaking. Then you have to simultaneously look at the tape to know where it's printing. So let's watch that again. So look at this. 716, it's printing at 716s and jumps up to 720s. Not enough size right there to show you that, you know, all that buyer exuberance coming in from the bid doesn't get broken. And so that's kind of how you kind of tell that there definitely is an iceberg order in and around that area, Darren.
Yeah, it's a cool look. Thank you for putting that visual in there as well. Because volume can speak volumes.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, I think that's a cool iceberg to take a look at. And thank you so much, Sharif, for putting together that lesson. And yeah, happy to have Sharif here.
Yes,
also, you know, if you like seeing Sharif and his mustache, you like talking about tickers, there's actually a way that all of these things come into confluence together.
There you go.
And you know how you do that? I'll tell you. You go in the chat right now. You go exclamation point join, shift. One.
You get so
then
excited.
$, shift 4, and then whatever ticker you like, Amazon, Meta, Google, GME, I don't know, SMCI. You guys know what tickers you like. You go in there, you put in those tickers. You have a cool almost 3 hours left to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Voting closes at 1:50, but why not remind everybody nice and early?
Absolutely.
But that is the thing you can do. So shout out there. Also, I'm in a trade. I'm in Microsoft. I'm basically flat on said trade. Got involved here at like the lower highs, and I liked these topping tail candles. I usually don't trade Microsoft and Meta, just because the way they move is not my favorite. I always, I will only get involved in these if I see something that I just cannot take my eyes off of. Microsoft, for me, these lower highs, it was kind of giving me that. It's kind of waffly right now. I would like it if it could Lego this indecision and give me that trade. Shout out to Eggo Waffles, I guess. But yeah, I'm giving this into 60s. If we break above these wicks here into 60s, I'm going to be outie. Right now, though, we're about 8 pennies out of the money, and then 2 seconds later, we'll be slightly in the money. So we're going to have to wait and see on MSFT. Tesla, I'm a little bit disappointed here. Not depressed-la, but a little bit of upset-la doesn't work. But here, so I like this short because look at this rejection of that 184. That's gorgeous. I got short because I like that rejection. We pushed up, though, into 184.20, which was my level, and it had a viciousness I did not enjoy, and I said, Adara, you owe it to yourself to leave. I left. Maybe I could have set the risk management a little bit higher, but just the way the book was moving, I know I wouldn't have felt comfortable in the trade, so I did what I had to do. If we bounce off VWAP, I might take a micro long, but we're going to have to see here. Right now, I'm not obsessed with Tesla. Positive on the day with that Nvidia trade. Slightly down on Tesla, but positive on the day right now. Microsoft, if you want to join, it's not going to be a dollar club. It'll be a 30-cent club to get out some of this profit. But if you want to join any club, Microsoft, I'd be more than micro pleased to have you.
Oh, the puns were coming in. They were coming in fast, and they were coming in furious there. I'm just sorry. I'm setting up my side chart. No, I'm good. For the small cap gappers, so let's get to them, baby. There seems to be a lot here, Ram. ALUR is pamping 200%, sorry, to the good right now. Let's talk a little bit about this one. 25 or so million shares done on the day. The market cap, a deep $150 million market cap. I'm not getting any deets, though, on any of the short floats or the float itself. So let's try trade ideas and shout out the NOS boss on his crew over there. ALUR is the ticker I'm talking about. Let's pull up that bad boy. All right, we got a 31 million share float with a negligible short float of 1.9%. So at least we know now going forward. Decent float here. Kind of trying to fight with 3, topping tail at 3.5. Let's see if this one was a halter. I haven't had eyes on this one. Yes, it halted earlier on right at the get-go. Just halted again at 5 after the hours. Both were 5-minute halts, 355 HOD. Let's look at the daily, find out if this is a former runner. The answer is yes. Look at the move here back early April, April 4th, another outlying day. It has trouble with the 50. There's no question about that. The 50 exponential on the daily is a point of resistance. Look for a major retracement the next day. This seems to be the modus operandi of this small cap gapper. I don't recall it personally, but yeah, clearly here, as you can see, it has outlying days. 355, we'll have to see if that can get breached. Let's look at the 5 again. Chart here, VWAP hanging out at $2.30 essentially. The 10 exponential is at 250, so far extended off the 10 exponential on the 5. Look for a bit of a retracement. This candle kind of indicates it at the moment, seeing that it is a candle of indecision. If I had to actually take a side, I'd say to topping tail more than a bottoming tail. Watch out for current retracement. I'd wait for VWAP. ALUR looks good though. Holo is back, baby. No, not YOLO. Holo. The volume is a little bit suspect. I got to tell you, 20 million shares on a $1 name. We'll see if this one can get going here, but a double bottom off VWAP. Holo, obviously, it's a multiple runner this year, and we know about it. So that one's doing things. ZAP, yes, ZAPP, another triple-digit winner, 110% in the clear, though it's breaking down here, but not to my liking. Breaking down VWAP. Here's what I got to say about this one. There's a clear pre-market high hanging out at 2.25. Over here, 2 1/3. I'm liking that area for a flip from resistance to support. I'm not playing this off VWAP. $3 VWAP, it's breaking down now. It's got to reclaim it pretty quick for me to get interested. Otherwise, I'm looking for a previous area of resistance to flip to support, maybe like something off the $2.40, maybe $2.50. If it doesn't make it all the way down to 2 1/4, so we'll see. ZAPP looks decent. ZNTL, another one that's going here. This one, though, also suspicious on volume. Do you have anything?
Did you see the catalyst on ZNTL?
No, I didn't even look at any of these catalysts. Hold on, wait.
It's from Tuesday. So basically, this is a recovery play from a pretty rough drug-related catalyst.
Okay, I'm looking. Get to it. People are waiting.
Sorry. Sepsis. Yeah. So people were worried that there were some deaths from sepsis with their drug.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, so, here it is. You're right.
That's why they got all the downgrades. Again, not obviously like confirmed, but just correlations, right? So I don't want to be like, oh, is that no? I'm just saying like that's what.
You left everyone in suspense. I was so scared.
I didn't know what was happening. I apologize.
I thought you were doing it for dramatic effect.
I think my brain fell asleep a bit of the way through. My brain was like sepsis, but no, yes, that's what happened there. So recovery.
Here it is, guys. If you want to know what it is, whatever pharmaceuticals said, the FDA has temporarily halted a number of studies for its cancer treatment following 2 deaths in one of them. The clinical stage biopharma company said it has placed a partial clinical hold on the studies for its drug, Azenol, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right, so then you guys get it. All right, Adara, thank you very much for updating us on that, and that should be obviously reflected in the price action. There's a 30-minute. There's a monster gap down from 8.5. The next day, it gaps to 6.5 and sells all the way off sub 4, recovers in the aftermarket. So this one, sure, I think you're absolutely right, Adara. And look at this, hanging out at the 50 on the half an hour, straddling the 50 right now at the half an hour with a bit of a topping tail candle. This is going to turn into an inverse hammer candle if it closes in this fashion. Half an hour, it's got 12 minutes before it closes, so don't make any jumps on that. But those are the looks right now, ZNTL. And then this other one here, GRDI, kind of zigzagging above VWAP, below VWAP. I'm not going to play this one, Adara.
Yeah, killing me softy with this chart. Got a little bit chopped up here on Microsoft, which was in fact killing me softy. I should have taken everything out of your 20s. Initially I wanted 10s, but didn't get 10s. I got 20s out for half of it. Then I was like, I have no reason to leave until we push above 60s. You push above 60s, I got out. That being said, that VWAP bounce is pretty clear, but we're still having issues breaking anywhere above this 443.60. I have to be of course I have to acknowledge the higher highs here, right? This could be a flat top break. We're bouncing off VWAP, but I have no issue taking the short into VWAP, which is arguably how I should have played it the first time around. So we'll see on that. Nvidia is
210 broke on Apple.
210. Yeah. Wow, did it break on Apple? Yeah, 210. That level is as broken as my iPhone 8. That's a broken level, that's for sure. But yeah, this NVDA, I was looking to short at 139. I wanted to see it reject 139. By the time it rejected, Nvidia's like, yeah, I'm too fast for you, Adair. You're not going to get it now. I'm like, yeah, I should have been like waiting there. I was not waiting. But we're doing something kind of interesting in that we're having a skosh of a range here around this 138.70s up into 139s. And if you even want to include this pop into 139.50s, I think you could as well. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I think there are some plays there. I just don't have them exactly yet. So keeping an eye on NVDA for some scalp potential. That is my best name of the day. Basically flat on Microsoft, slightly down on the soft one, Microsoft.
The soft one, yes.
Let's take a look as well here at Dell. Shout out to a couple people mentioning Dell in the chat, including 1320 Wolf. Thank you for pointing out this pseudo range here on Dell. Oh, okay. I see a range, but I'll see flat bottom break. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna.
Good call.
I would like to get this slightly higher. Okay, we're gonna try to get involved 59s. We'll risk into 152 even. We're risking like 40 pennies. I think we could get to 150s, so I don't mind risking. You know, you gotta risk money to make money. You know, let's do 55s. Let's be a little bit less ambitious. And as I get those orders ready, Dell's like, I'm gonna drop another like 25 pennies. I'm like, okay, Dell, I respect you, but if you wanna respect me, wick a little bit higher. I have no problem taking that short into 150s. Thank you for pointing out this range, 1320 Wolf. Manuel Palma was talking about MGOL, which was a bit of a small cap pal earlier today. Manuel Palma asking if it's holding this $1 level. Okay, I would say the $1 level to me is a little bit less interesting than what we have going on here at 104s. And I still have to say, I'm gonna be honest, it might be a flat bottom break. That being said, for me, the Dell flat bottom break is a little bit cleaner, and I was more confident in saying that was a flat bottom break because with Dell, we had these topping tail candles here on the lower highs. With MGOL, we just have this nice little putting our foot down at 104 saying I will not go any lower. And we're having a little bit of these wicks to the downside here. So I think MGOL could be interesting. I would like to see us push above this little chop and turn area that we had around 112, 113. If we get that push, then I'm like, okay, maybe it's a continued long. But that's my look, Manuel Palma. I would say the $1 level, though it can, of course, be interesting for these forward penny stocks. To me, on the chart, it's not giving me much. I would say that 104 would be a little bit spicier. Should we be able to hold? Also spicy is the lunch today, which is apparently jerk chicken. So we're going to have to see how I fare on that. Got involved in that Dell short. Let's see if Dell, let's see if there's Dell to pay for getting involved in this. Hopefully not.
Wow, that was actually a good one.
Thank you. I thought of that earlier today and was like, if I have a reason to use it, I'm gonna be honest.
That was good.
I was like, if I have a reason to say this, I will. So yeah.
Yeah, that was quality right there.
Thank you.
Guys, I've got 2 dip trades set up here. All right, I'm in Amazon at the moment. I'm looking for a VWAP, basically top end consolidation defend here on the Zon. I'm also setting up a dip trade on Tesla at $0.25. I'm long Zon at 05s. The stop is going to go through the break of 90. So that's going to go 184, and then we're going to go 88s, and then we're going to basically cover the entire thing there. So we're looking for bounce back off this level on Zon. I'm disappointed because I wanted Tesla 20 pennies ago, and I almost got filled at 75s. Now it's at 95s. So I'm looking for it, and it's not going to come in. Dang it! All right. Well, we're nicely money in the money here on Zon, so we'll wet our beak. Nice 20 penny winner, super quick. Let's see if we can get a nice continued move. Price action support at this area, previous area of resistance. That's what caused me to look there. And it was also very near VWAP. I had 2 check marks there, went long at that level. I'm disappointed again with Tesla. I should have been less frugal, had an order in the low 80s. I'm sitting exactly at 75s, and now it's doing its thing, 21 with that level. So we'll see, maybe it comes back. It gives me the fill. Maybe we'll get a bit of a nicer dip into that level. I know we're dancing right now with 20,200. We're a little bit above. We're a little bit below the 100-point level on the future. I realize also that that's price action, support and resistance. That is the closing print from yesterday. We got a hold up there. We proved its worth at the IB. The opening print. That wasn't the IB low. We got the opening print that held up right there. Now we're coming to that same area again, and we're dancing above and below, a little here, a little there. We'll have to see which way this resolves right now. But if I had to guess, it's a downtrend on the day. It probably resolves lower. That's just a guess, just based on the previous trend. So Tesla's going here without me breaking through the whole dollar level. into 183. So it doesn't look like I'm going to get filled. I'm seeing that back end, as Neil likes to call it, already start to form through the $0.25 touch. Back to AMZN, still 10 pennies in the money on this one, but it looks like this one might have just been a scalp. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Nothing changes with this one. The stop stays the same, and I hold it unless I get stopped out or I get printed on a move up, Adara.
Yeah, Dell is getting a bit bamboozling nice and early into the trade, but I will say I feel a lot more confident now that we get to 151.99s on the sell side. 99s, we don't crack above 152. I say, okay, Adara, you can stay here a little bit longer. I want to show you guys out for the great Dell puns in the chat as well. Gates of Dell said Darwin. We had Peter Sun saying highway to Dell. I appreciate all of those here. Yeah, I appreciate everybody getting involved in the puns over here. But let's see how Dell goes. What I don't love is we had this gorgeous topping tail candle, and I stand by the impetus for the short. This looked like a nice short. We had those moves lower, but now we're seeing not one, but it looks like maybe two bottoming tail candles. That's not going to be the vibe. Also, the spread is not my favorite. At one point, we were like 19 pennies. I'm like, Dell, what are you, meta? Like, what are you doing over here? What are you, Eli Lilly? No, all jokes aside, I do have no reason to leave until we break above that 152. I'm not going to say until, because Dell, I don't want you to get any ideas. But let's see what happens. If we end up bouncing off VWAP, I have no issue flipping long. I just don't want to get out of this trade early because I'm scared, because I still have confidence in this trade. I got involved for a reason. So there we go. Let's take a look. Dell may break north, says 1320 Wolf. I agree. Like I totally do agree. So I appreciate you saying that. But again, I want to make sure I'm sticking to my plan on Dell, because this is a bit less of a scalp. I do want that 151, 150 area. I don't really think I have a reason to leave yet. So yeah, I appreciate that. Let's keep going here. Kyle Burdett, big spy Burdett saying, come on, SPY, break lower. Let's take a look. I haven't really looked at, I've looked at the SPY, but not from a trading perspective yet today. So let's see how I feel about the itsy bitsy spider. Oh, okay. A little bit of a bounce here for 548.70. Yeah, I think this is a bit bamboozling because we've had higher highs here on the day, the 5 minute. Now we're kind of holding this base. This could be an interesting one. For sure. Dell broke above 152, so I'm going to extricate myself from that computer, if I may. Thank you.
No problem. Absolutely. So I'm in Tesla now at 86s. I tried to get 82s. I didn't get it. Frustrated with Tesla over and over. I'm not getting the print that I want. Now I'm nicely in the money now. Let's see if we get the print at the whole dollar. I'm sitting in front of the whole dollar a little bit to see if I can scalp it, because, you know, we're going to encounter typical resistance in and around there, right? That's just normal stuff. So we'll see if we get that print there. Well, maybe we'll just front run it a little bit there. We'll see if we can get it. We'll just leave it to work there. All right, very nicely in the money now on the Zon. But again, it's an anemic bounce, right? So we're getting the bounce that we want, but it's not, you know, moving to the upside with the same vigor that it had previously. I guess that's to be expected given the time of day. So we'll keep watching there. Still sitting on Tesla at 95s, waiting for the print. Do we get a lot of selling at this level here? So even though I'm seeing bottoming tails come in on Tesla, it feels like the selling a little bit overwhelming the buying in and around this area. There we go. We get the print on the way up. So nicely to the high side there. Yeah, not much to report. Just waiting for either to get stopped out or to continue up. Taking profits already on both. Looking for a hold of VWAP essentially on both. They're both very similar trades, both Amazon and Tesla. They're both breakouts above VWAP and above previous morning resistance. And then we're holding these areas. They either break these areas or they curl back up. So I'm going to pack my patience with both. Nicely through 183 here on Tesla. Let's see if we can get that sustained move through the whole dollar here, Dara.
Yeah, that initial trade went to use a pun from Bears versus Bulls, Dell in a handbasket. But I got back in because I was like, now we are kind of holding that 152. Now we're holding that 90 EMA, and Dell's like, you sure? I want to see what we do here at this 60 level. I think maybe this is just not the vibe for me today. Maybe it's too hard to Dell on this one. But we are getting that bounce right now, so we're gonna have to see what we do. I'm okay with 150, 250s. I took a smaller position because generally when I am down on Dell. I'm down on the day thanks to our pal Dell over here. But again, if you have ideas, you have to trust them. So I have no issue with that initial short. And I also have no issue going long again when I saw stuff that flipped. Also, Racer X9, I am on a 5-minute chart for Dell. Because like you said, yeah, no, I'm on a 5-minute here for Dell. I don't know what chart that was referring to, but I generally have the 5 minutes. But just because I saw that and was like, I'm usually on a 5. Let's take a look here on this Tesla though, because Tesla 183, kind of a spicy short, no? And I couldn't have taken that, and I was too busy, jamming the computer keys over there on Dell. But yeah, Tesla, if you keep rejecting 183, I might play that. Because you get what you get, you don't get upset. That worked better in my brain. Yeah, Nvidia kind of coiling around here, but I think I definitely need to be Delling with this Dell trade before I do anything else. Nvidia or AMD roundy top. Yeah, I have too many things on my radar. I need to zoom in here. What have you're in your Amazon and your Tesla? Yeah,
Amazon's better than Tesla at the moment. Tesla rejected 183, as you made point. It's a very good point. It's consolidative between 183 to 182.5. That passed for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. We'll see if we get that bounce back up. I've moved up my stop through the break of the $0.50 into the break of 60 pennies. So moved up my stop on TSLA from the break of the $0.50 into the break of said 60 pennies. Coming back into 183, we'll have to see how this resolves. But both Amazon and Tesla at these levels, very anemic on the bounce. But maybe I'm just impatient because I didn't sleep that well. Who knows, right? We'll have to wait and see. Back into the $0.25. Come on, third of a dollar on the ZON. We're still holding on AMZ. I feel like Amazon is going to break up more than Tesla, but then, maybe that's not the right thing to say because Tesla can become a lot more parabolic from my experience. So we'll continue watching that. Nicely back in the money here on ZON as we still dance with 183. Nothing real for me really to report on these two trades. Just basically I'm just going to hang out in them. That's that. What else are you guys looking at? Let me know what you guys are doing today. Are you guys green on the day? How's your day been? And what names have you been trading? Make sure to get in and vote for those names, to have your say and to see maybe the big kahunas traded it differently than you. Maybe they had a bit of a different look. They saw something you didn't see. If you don't ask, you don't get. So go ahead, get into the chat right now. Vote for the names you want talked about on the afternoon rundown. Neil and Sean, they'll be locked and loaded, ready to take the requests that you put in there. So we'll shout out that. Still trouble with 183 here on Tesla. It gets into 183. It rejects 183. Consolidative area. Basically the same thing on Amazon. Hate to repeat myself, but they're both kind of holding above the former area of resistance, current area of support, but not breaking out higher there.
Yeah. So AMD, I tried too short and AMD laughed at me. In retrospect, this I knew could have gone either way. The reason I like the short, and I still think there could be a short here, is because we were kind of slumping down here. We were below the 90 EMA. I saw the bottoming tail candles, but I was like, Adara, risk 30 pennies. We got above 60s. I got out. So I wanted really nicely below that 165. It's all good. It's all good. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm not getting back involved. Also, I did take some profit on Dell. Almost inarguably too early here. So I got out. I should have probably waited for the 154. But with Dell, this was very much more of a just have confidence in being able to flip type trade. Some of my trades are not always going to be about P and L or P and Dell, but it's going to be about progress and learning. And I want to be honest about that. I'm definitely not the trader of the world or anything here. I'm still very new, but I think the only way you can take trades is by learning, regardless of what the P&L on that is going to be. And so that's why I wanted to take this 9 EMA bounce. I realized the short didn't work out, took the long, took less shares on the long, which was maybe not the vibe because this ended up being a better looking trade. Happy I got it where I did. Like I said, I really just wanted to see us get above that wick here where we got into 30s. So happy with how this went. Could have taken more, but that wasn't the plan for the trade. We're gonna have to wait and see. Tesla, I kind of want to short the Cybertruck. That's gonna be a vibe. Keeping an eye on Nvidia. I definitely need to narrow my focus a little bit because we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, a little bit. I was initially up on the day today, but with that Nvidia, and then things happen, and all you do is keep going. So let's see what happens. Meta, you could be a short at 502, but I'm really done with the spready names right now. So Meta, Spreada might not be my ballpark over here right now. Join Intel. Javier Cueva Sanchez voting for what he wants to see, but also let's look at Intel because Intel's not one that let's see what the Intel is on Intel, because let's see if we can Intel you what levels we like. Yeah, I think the puns seem like they're very overboard today so far. Okay. Hey, I love this 31 bounce. Well, not 31, 30.96. Look at this. We get this pushed into 30.96, complete with a beautiful little doji. Then we come here, bounce off VWAP, confluence. We got our first chair push back on the day. And this little bottoming tail candle, this is Beautiful. Continuing to push higher. Oh, are we slumping? No, we're not, because we bounce off 30.96 again. Bang.
Whoa.
This Intel.
Love it.
This is not one I would trade, just because I am not, like, I would say Neil's the Intel whisperer. I don't have the Neilage to trade this name appropriately. But that was someone in the super chat a while ago for the Neilage, so I'm going to give that person credit. But yeah, we're going to have to wait and see how Intel goes. I think this is kind of an interesting look there. And yeah, if you have any tickers you want to vote for, like Javier voted for Intel, you can just go in the chat and do that.
Love it. Yes, absolutely. Per, I'm going to get to TNX in 1 sec. I just want to mention what my plan is here on Zon. I'm out of the Tesla trade for like a 5 penny winner on the last amount. Nothing really to write home about. But my plan here on the Zon is simple. I was waiting for that 60 penny area, let's just say above the $0.50. Why? Because we had an area top there earlier on at 937. We broke that area, came back, tested it, held up. So I was like, all right, well, this 185.60, 185.50 seems to be an area of interest on the day. We got up there on the Zon. We got into 45s. I was like, all right, I could just cover here for 40 penny winner, but like I wanted to wait for my level. And then what ends up happening is we become consolidative again. So we'll have to see if that 50 penny level, 60 penny level can get triggered or not. We'll keep watching that. All right, Microsoft's doing things here, guys. Here because that's a nice little bounce off the 441.25. That was the low. It looks like really that 442 generally it was a whole dollar that held there, all the closing prints north of that 442, and now we're going on to 445. We are above VWAP. We're right at the 50. I would say this is one hell of a retracement back into the closing print, closing print from Tuesday. 446.25. That was the area support in the morning before we absolutely huadunked at the open on Softy from 446 all the way down, like I said, into 441. And now it looks like we're kind of rounded bottoming or whatever, retracing back into that 446. We'll have to see if we can break through the 50. A bit of a gap for any technicals here, at least on the 5 minute, between that 50 right here and the closing print from Tuesday. So MSFT recovering better than most, I could say, at the moment. I don't know. Meta is making, this caught my attention as well. So I was like, okay, Meta's holding off VWAP. Is this an interesting area to go short? Or sorry, to go long? And then I started noticing this. These sequentially lower highs. Lower high, that you haven't really broke that pattern. So you're looking here, I think, for a curl back down, kind of a skewed double top with a really wide right shoulder. He wouldn't win any bodybuilding competition.
No, he would not.
For aesthetics there, Dara. But yeah, at least not in the aesthetics category. Maybe this time.
Maybe he's really strong and you're just judging this appearance.
Yeah, but that's not what they judge you on.
That's true.
Yeah, it's all aesthetics.
They want to see how it looks, yeah.
Exactly, right? But anyway, yeah, so Meta seems like a decent short off a pop. But, sometimes when you sit waiting for those pops, they don't fill because it's so spready. Nicely done here on the Zon. Here we go into the $0.50 like we wanted. I'm still greedy. I'm waiting for 55s. It's printing 50s. I'm waiting. I'm done waiting. We're out. Nice break there. I'm happy I packed my patience on that. Nice move up here on the Zon. Again, the precipice for this entry, a VWAP conflating with the previous area top. And then you look for the defense of that area. And I'm happy with this trade here there.
I'm happy for you. I'm pleased this punch for you.
Oh, I forgot to look at Snap. Sorry, for Terper. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me just load up that for Terper over there. I like his name. What do you think about his name, Ram? You like Terper? She loves it. I love that. I love that. Absolutely. So we're going to look at Snap. All right, so this is the weekly. No, let's start with the daily on Snap. All right, so right away you can see there's an area top. Wow, this is really interesting. I love when charts look like this because you just play off these levels, right? You feel like you play off them. Anyway, maybe I'm being a little naive here. Anyway, let's put it in. Let's put the ticker in and talk about these levels. So an obvious top, 17.5 and change. You get wicks into 18-ish, but they all sell off. The closing prints, without exception, south of 17.5. Beautiful. All right, so now we know an area top, 17.5, off which we can base everything, okay? And then, what happens here now? Let's see this. So we obviously have an area bottom over here. I would say 16 now. 16 is acting as a level of resistance lately, at least it has been this month. So anything off 16 seems to sell off, at least intraday. Look at all these wicks into 16. They all finish south of 16. But you see this rounding bottom over here, at least lately, these higher lows with 16 as a top, but you're getting higher lows. So possibly maybe making another move here, possibly into that 17, 17 and a half for another test. I'm talking about the swing look, at least for the moment. All right, so now let's look at the intraday look here, SNAP. Let's put in the ticker again. Sorry about that, guys. As I zoom out, the ticker disappears. So Snap, super weak on the day. Really nothing for me to get excited with on a daily chart. I'd look to short the pops, rejection off VWAP here, but that's not how I'd play Snap. Not on an intraday basis. It's more of a, you're playing the levels on a swing basis. At least that's how I'd play it there.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for that Snap judgment on Nice look.
Love it.
Yeah, that chart also, I enjoyed that. That's a fun looking chart there. But yeah, Tesla, I just have Tesla up. I have nothing on Tesla. It bounced off VWAP. Good look there. Sharif totally called it on the long for this. So TSLA is TSLA.
No, it went, eh? Yeah, I got out of it. I suck.
I mean, you called it right, though, because I like the 183 short, so you called it right.
It's just like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know you like your, also look, like where we bounced here,
you
look
at that all the time, too.
I do look at that all the time. I do short bias, which is the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, shout out to Sharif on that. Another name I traded earlier that I want to look at again here is going to be Dell. Because, you know, earlier I had my death knell or death Dell on Dell. It gave me Dell. But, you know, if we keep, we're doing something here. I think this range can continue. Shout out to 1320 Wolf for calling out the range on this. I want to see us break below 152.60s because right now we're clinging onto it like the cat and that keep holding on me with the tree. That's what we're doing here with Dell at this 160 level. If we break it, I have no, or 152.60 level, sorry. If we break it, I don't have an issue going short. My thing is, I want to be cognizant because when you're down on names like I am with Dell right now, I think it can kind of go one of two ways, at least for me from a psychological perspective. You either avoid it because you're scared, you have ideas you like, or you go at it way too hard and then it just becomes like even worse. So I want to make sure I don't do either of those. If I see something I like and that 152.60 level, a bit spicy for me on Dell, especially because it's near the 9 EMA, one of my favorite indicators to use. I want to see what we do on Dell. I think there is something here, but I don't want to rush into it. But I did have an IWM trade that I would really love to talk about, if I may here. So IWM is, I love trading the Russell 2000. Every day I'm rustling. Shout out to James Dell, who I think said that in the chat once. And I pretty much am rustling every single day here. But yeah, I think we had a Rick Ross movement. We didn't get Rick rolled on this trade, very pleased to say. I got involved here this short at VWAP, because not just because it was VWAP, but look at what other level this is. Look at this base at 201.10. That's right. I was going to risk this into 201.8. I got involved at 201.02, so we were risking like 6 pennies here. I wanted minimum 94s, which is where I got out half the position. Then I got out the rest at the bottom of this range, 85s. Really happy with how I managed this trade, only risking 6 pennies. Ended up making about 17 pennies for half my position, so almost 1 to 3 risk to reward for the bulk of the position. Let's see what happens here. I want to see if we have another rejection here off the 9 EMA. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, 1320 Wolf, about Dell looking better as a long. I just think for me, that level on the book is interesting, and we did give up that 152.60, so I want to see what we do here. If we come back again, test it and reject it, Dell, you're on my list next. So I'm going to take you back to the gates of Dell. Shout out to someone in our chat. It was going to be Darwin who said that. So puns, always puns aplenty over here on from me on how to trade. Nvidia curling down. I might take this.
Yeah. Oh, that's a rounded top.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby. And it's lower highs, Adara. Right. And it's a rejection of the previous area support.
Right.
This is all too beautiful today.
I know.
Look at this. I mean, this area flips to this area. It's rounding off that area. Lower highs, lower lows. I love it. Kill it. Let me know how it goes. I'm looking on the dead one right now. Well, it's not the dead one anymore. Well, it's a sell one lately. I'm looking for a short off the 20 period on AAPL. It broke the 10 period for the first time essentially all day since we printed that 935 5-minute candle. It hasn't been on a closing basis at least above the 10 period exponential on the 5 since the 935 time slot. So we broke it here, well through it as well. So I'm like, all right, deeper retracements, go into the 20. That's been my philosophy on trending stocks. And so I'm looking to set up here. Now I had my short set up at 88s, But as I've said many times in the past, these moving averages are dynamic. You have to move down your order or move up your order as the price and their level changes. So looking to get short wherever the 20 be hanging out. Now, kind of a couple of things here. Tesla rejecting off the 50 on the 5. That's that $0.50 as well. Careful with that. That's a lower high on TSLA. I know Adira was announcing that that broke out and did get the beautiful hold of VWAP, but be careful off this 50-period rejection. I was kind of looking for this 184. I felt that 184 was definitely the interesting level. It was the bottom end area in the pre, as well as that 11 o'clock time slot right when we started the show, tops out there at 184.25, but the closing prints all south of 184. So looking for possibly here and maybe some weakness coming in on TSLA, but my trade, the one I've got set up, short 20-period exponential AAPL, 20-period exponential on the 5. But look at Softy. Unreal, dog. Look at this move up. So we were talking about dancing with the 50. It just annihilated the 50, and now it's coming into that level that we were yapping about to go short. 446 1/3. That's the closing print from Tuesday. It's a consolidation area bottom in the pre. It's also that whatever institutional prints all bounced off there. It's the IB high as well. Look at that print right at 930. The IB high is 446.5. IB, guys, implied balance high and low. We did a lesson on that. Just use a YouTube search. And you'll get the lesson on that Adira and I did. So I'm looking possibly here short on two things now. Apple, I'm looking at Softy. I'm just going to have to pack my patience until my levels come in, Adira.
Oh, yeah. Also, guys, we do have some economic things to be aware of. We've got the 5-year auction coming through at 1, 5-year tips auction.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so that's just a quick tip there. The tips auction coming in at 1 p.m. I have all eyes on the SPY here. You know, shout out to Big Spy Burdette. Not sure if Big Kyle's still shorting this name. But, yeah, I got involved because, again, I don't want to, and I want to shout out Sharif because he says this, and I definitely agree. It's always a little bit riskier taking these trades on the futures or these related products on chart reasons. We have the lower highs, but for me, really what I liked about this is on the book, we are struggling with 549. So I decided that's what I'm going to, okay, yeah, break below 80 SPY. If we don't get the break below 80s, we'll get out at 80s, I don't mind. I was going to risk into 549. That was the, okay, we're going to get out here. I'm pleased as punch with that.
Nice.
Took about, math quickly, 15, 16 pennies here on the SPY. Got involved because I liked that we were continuing to kind of drip lower here off that 90 MA. So I said, let's try to get a little bit of drip here, a little bit of swag in this trade. I want to see us break below 80s. We broke below 80s. I said, cool. I'm acting like this is a massive position. It wasn't, but I'm proud of it.
The real question, though, was it Ric Flair drip?
It was, and it went, woo! Shout out to that song. Oh, my gosh.
And shout out to Ric Flair.
Okay,
like,
that's true.
Love the dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
have you ever seen his 80s videos? The dude was charismatic.
His energy is crazy.
He's nuts, man. Yeah. And like apparently he was like that IRL, too. It wasn't
some
just...
stuff you can't fake.
Yeah. You couldn't fake that. Anyway, Nate, shout out to Nate, man. The king of the backhanded slap. The king of the woo, the king of the rake in the eye, and the rake in the back, the flop. Absolutely.
Also, sorry, there was a super chat here from Ahmed Abwala. And actually was like what you were saying with Microsoft. Shout out to Ahmed Abwala for the AED $10 super chat. I'm done, but Microsoft forced me to add a final trade.
Hey.
Yeah, it's been a spicy one. Are you still looking at Microsoft?
I am. I'm waiting for that 446 and a half, to come in. I may not get it, because I may also not get that 20 exponential on the 5 on Apple, because we broke the 10, but look at this candle that's forming right now on the 5. It's got 2 more minutes. It's going to close. It looks awfully like curly downish. Is that a word? Is that an expression? Anyway, so yeah, I know.
Like
I'm looking for essentially 2 areas that haven't come in yet. I said myself when I started seeing these candles form, the red candle is currently forming on Apple and on Microsoft, I said, look, why don't you just get short here? I've done that in the past, and what ends up happening is you got one red candle and then another green candle subsequent to that to actually touch your level. Either you DCA or you stop out. Neither of which I want to be in at the moment, so I'm packing my patience on this one. I'm also very cognizant of the fact we're now breaking below 20,200 decidedly here. We broke through that area consolidation bottom at 80s. Now we're in the mid 60s. That's a bigger move down. That's another lower high. This high over here off 20,212, that's well below that 20,002 1/3 previous high, and you're getting all those red candles right now on the future. And that Nvidia, tell me you got involved with that Nvidia.
I did not get.
You
I
called
tried.
that. Look at this.
I tried. It wouldn't let me in. I wanted 60s. We're at like 55s, and then we just dropped. So I put it in the chat too. I was like, Nvidia did not want me part of that short.
No.
Believe me, I wish I had it. Sharif.
Good call on that.
I tried.
Though.
I can't be too upset when you try.
Hey, yeah. Well, it's true, right? Because it's validation of concept, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to print.
I just wish they'd let me in, Sharif.
I know.
It would not let me in
super
Nvidia.
Spready? I didn't even look.
It wasn't even that it was spready. It was moving so quickly that by the time I identified it, Nvidia, like this is one of those times where you kind of don't want to be frugal. I probably should have chased it a little bit, like into 30s at least, because that would have been like 30 pennies off from where I wanted to get involved, right? So it's all good. I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
No,
if we flip here, I'll maybe take a pop. Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. You know, this was the right call. I think you nailed it on Nvidia. I think I had the right idea on Softy, just the wrong price. It didn't make its way up into 446 1/3. We got a rejection essentially at skosh below 446. The top there was 445.82 and 81. Double top there, and wham bam, down it goes into 44 1/3. Apple, you know, this looks to me like I should be getting short here. But I want to wait to see what this
I like
candle.
the Apple short.
Yeah, right? It's just my only concern is that 210, what do we do? Do we close? 210 seems to me like if there is, you know, trading between buyers and sellers at this level, that we probably get a close above 210 for one day, then we break it tomorrow on a closing basis. That's why I don't know. I'm just guessing. It's just like another level off which to base support. Yeah, I don't know. See, the thing is, right, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on this. I don't need to jump in super quick. There's other trades that I can have. There's other trades that I can have right now. I like this possible hold up here on goggles as well at VWAP. That's another hold up on goggles on VWAP right there. So, yeah, decisions. What are you looking at?
Well, I tried to get short Nvidia because I did like what I was seeing on the book here at that 37.60. It looks like I should have just taken that pop long I referred to instead of trying to go short here. It's all good. I was trying to get out at 137.80s. Nvidia just popped too high for that. I was like, that's too bad. Got out at 138s. Am I still positive Nvidia? No, slightly down Nvidia now, unfortunately. But you know what? There's more where that came from. You just got to make more trades happy. I attempted it. I felt good about it, but I should have. My initial instinct on it was the long, so I should have just taken the long instead of thinking it was a short there. I think clearly the level was right. Just the way I played that level was wrong. I mentioned I was down on Tuesday. I was down on Monday, and right now I'm down today. But sometimes you got to take these hits so you can go back and reflect on what went wrong. And I think again, not trusting my instincts enough, not being quick enough on the draw. That's what got me in this Nvidia trade. And I chased it like 30 pennies. Not that I'm down for chasing waterfalls, but in this case, maybe if I'd given that trade a little bit more TLC, we would have been fine on that NVDA. Now it looks like 138 actually is the short. So we're gonna give this a couple more seconds here. That works out. Speaking of also not trusting your levels, I said 150-260 on Dell, and then I didn't take it as a short, but it's all good. Dell, if you want to keep rejecting that 90 MA, I might try to short you again. Let's go back to the gates of Dell with this guy. Yeah, if we get to 150 and reject, that being said, it's also kind of been a range all day. I want to shout out 1320 Wolf for calling that range. I'm looking at Dell, I'm looking at Nvidia. Really though, what I'm looking at is just trying to learn, trying to make more trades. That makes sense. I feel very grateful to be on this desk, and I want to make sure I'm trading to the best of my abilities every single day. I had a good first half of June, and then this week came in and was like, Adara, the tides can change. And I said, I understand markets, but hopefully I can change with you. So there we go. I'm going to stop talking to the markets right now and hopefully try to interact with them, take some trades. This Dell getting like deeply enticing, but I don't want to rush back and okay. We're going to risk into 150, 150. We'll do 150, 160. So that was the level I initially liked. And we're going to get involved here, 151, 28. Smaller position. Let's get it cracking, Dell. Yes, right. Dell, I'm talking to you.
I'm in two positions that I may get in trouble with here. Let's see. Amazon long, Apple short. Look, I'm trying to stick to the trade here. The trade was a 20 exponential rejection on Apple. So I'm short 88s on Apple, 210 88s. My break is going to be 211 12. That's going to be my line in the sand. If it continues up through 211, I've given it 12 pennies. It really should reject 211 if it's going to reject. So we'll have to wait and see. The other one on AMZN, I was looking for a VWAP bounce here back again into VWAP, at least on a scalping basis. May not get that. My line in the sand there is the break of the low. The low there was 77, so I put my stop out at 75. So we'll see if we get that as well. So long Amazon, short Apple. I don't typically do these opposite trades for Mag 7 names, but I just feel like Apple's a special case where, you know, it was really retracing below the 10 the entire day, and the first time it makes its way into the 20, looking for a short. So we'll see what we get there. So Apple moving up and Amazon moving down legitimately, like I've taken like the wrong position. So we'll have to wait and see there. I am 12 pennies out of the money on Apple and 14 pennies out of the money on Amazon, but neither stop has triggered yet. So we're going to pack our patience and see what we get. The Fuge did recover just a skosh off that big red candle, but the green candle that recovered is sort of half the size of the red candle. So possibly here, you know, a bull trap for whoever was looking maybe long like myself. So now I just did get stop out of Amazon there. It does break through the low, so we're out of Amazon for a loser now, and I am now negatory on Amazon, barely negative on the day. So we're gonna really be worried about this Apple trade now. It's gotta start making its way down, but it's dancing with that 211 level. I think this one, if it prints, it might print aggressively, at least down into that 210 area, maybe to bounce there. So if I don't get stopped out, nice Apple. All right, nicely in the money now on Apple as it does reject that 211, but anemic rejection still, nothing really of note. We'll look for something maybe below the $0.50 before we can start, you know, feeling a bit more comfortable. Dancing in the $0.75 right now is AAPL, and I'm again nice into that $0.02. So I'm happy about this one. I'm disappointed with Amazon trade though, because Amazon bounced right back. So it looks like I got wicked out, and right back into the mid-80s we go here, dancing with that level. So we'll see if Apple rejects. Apple's bouncing back into that $0.75. So nothing to celebrate too quickly here, Adara.
Yeah, so Dell I got out of, I got like, I think 30 pennies on Dell. We broke below 151, and then we kind of weren't really able to break any lower, so I said, Adara, get out here. I want to talk about why I got back in the Nvidia short, because I actually stand by this. I should have gone short the 138 when that definitely should have been the vibe. It wasn't the vibe. I messed up on that. We're going to try to get out here, 45s. But why I stand by this short is because I think this is trying to be a flat bottom break here. We have this curve below the 90 MA. We cannot get above 138 on the book. The last time we tried, we got to 138, right? This most recent time, we get to 138, 137.90s. I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a lower high in the tape. We're talking about level 2 this week. Adara, listen to it. I have to say, I've really been trying to hone in on my ability to read the book lately, because I think I like patterns, and so when I notice stuff like patterns and numbers, I guess another similarity between myself and Sharif's favorite TV character, Sheldon Cooper. But when I notice numerical patterns and stuff like that in the book, I feel like that's where I'm more confident in my trades, and so that's why I didn't mind getting back in this short. I will admit my initial attempts to short 137.60 were probably premature, but if I still see that level I like, I have to honor that. I actually added to the position when I noticed we made that decisively lower high. If we break above 138, I'm outie, but I have no reason to be outie right now. You know, Nvidia, if you want to get low, I'm happy with that. I would really like to see us, though, break below 137.45s. That's been a weird little sticking point for our pal NVDA. You know what? I don't want to overstay my welcome in this. I think we're having a little bit of a curl, so let's get out here at 56s. I'd be pleased as punch. NVIDIA, you're not even gonna give me 56s? Okay, do your thing, 21. There we go. Out of this position, please just punch. If I keep seeing rejections, I'll get back in. Kyle Burnett's saying PFE, so let's see what's going on in Pfizer. What lies are in Pfizer? Let's look at that. Where's New York? There we go. 1% on the day here. Oh, this is gorgeous. Thank you, Kyle Burnett, for mentioning this. You see any news here on Pfizer?
No.
I know the CEO was on CNBC, but they weren't talking about business-related stuff, so I don't know if that's what this is. We did have a double bounce here at 27.60. Nice look.
I'm looking at Zantac. That's obviously nothing to do with Pfizer. Is that?
It's trying to push. Yeah, we're going to have to see if it rejects here.
A bid by GlaxoSmithKline. No, that's GSK. Okay, GSK, Pfizer, and Sanofi, which all sold Zantac. Okay, so I'm stopped at Apple, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just want to point that out. It's breaking north here. So Apple looks like it's breaking through the 20. So I'm going to have to look at that as possible long. So this one, I guess because they all sold this Zantac, which is ranitidine for anybody who wants to know by the chemical name, is looks like Sanofi, GlaxoSmithKline, Pfizer, and however you say this, Boehringer, I don't know how to say them. Anyway, they all sold Zantac, so possibly could affect them here. Apple topping tail, so it looks like this one bamboozled, and now it's coming right back down. I don't need to be first into this one because it's still quite elevated. It's higher still than where I got in, but if it rejects like this, I'm going to join the short again on this because that looked like a specialist breakout down, or sorry, up through 211. Let's see how so this 5-minute candle closes as a candle of indecision, but it closes red most notably. I'm talking about the 5-minute candle here that just closed on Apple. All right, let's see if this one makes another high. All right, I'm gonna pack my patience. I don't wanna jump into the short too quickly and get cut up. Let's see how this one resolves. I don't need to be first. Let's see how this one does, if it moves sideways or actually breaks higher or lower to make newer higher lows or higher highs on the previous 5-minute candle. So I'm gonna pack my patience there. See what we get. Nvidia's heading down again though.
Oh, yeah.
Lower lows, lower highs right now on Nvidia. So this one looks like it's really kind of dragging down this market as the market looks like it wants to make lower highs and lower lows again. So that might be the move here. I don't know. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out, thank you so much, Donnie Zimbabwe, for the $1.99 super chat. CRM crazy. Have 232.50 calls. I'll send the proof. Laugh emoji. Looks like you're laughing all the way to the bank, Donnie Zimbabwe.
Bro.
I mean, right now we're at 240. So yeah, 232 calls. I would not be too upset if I were you. Nice look there. I can see why you're having that laugh time. This is also, this is a crazy level. RIP my mic. Here on CRM, let's look at this. Like, look, we pop here into this on the 5-minute 204.50s, right? Then we come a little bit of a topping tail candle, come back, we bounce, it's all good. We make a higher high, then we rest here, 240.50. We come back up. Now we actually make a bit of a fall off the 90 MA, but we bounce once again at 240.50. This 240.50 level is gorgeous. Shout out to you, Donnie Zimbabwe, for your calls. Good call on those CRM calls.
Ooh.
Right now, buyer force, more like it. Oh, this is a great daily chart. We have that drop on, I'm salivating over this chart. I use a Shravism. This is a great look. We pop into the 90 MA on the daily, and man, do we struggle with that 245. This is great resistance. Then we come here, we have a little lower high actually, or lower low, sorry. Hang out at 230, try to push higher. I think if we break above 245, that'd be an even nicer look on the daily chart. But regardless, you are rolling in it right now. You are having a good time there. Donnie Zimbabwe, yeah, thank you so much for your 199 super chat. Sorry that, yeah, we did address that CRM. Sorry we weren't able to get to it faster there. Lots of stuff to look at in these markets, but thank you very much for your super chats. Great look on CRM here, and shout out to you.
Yes.
I am looking at stuff. I wish I had a trade on right now. I don't. That Nvidia, happy with how I played the short. Could have stayed in it longer, but right now, I think Tesla short could be the vibe. Shout out to Kyle Burdett as well. Had a good call on that Pfizer. I'm not getting involved in this just because I think I've been trying to look at a few less names. Right now, though, I do think this is a nice short that's double top here. Shout out to you, Kyle, if you take this. It's a nice look. But right now, you know what's going to be a great look is our lesson of the day with Neil.
Welcome to the lesson of the day here. And first off, I just want to get off my chest. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words. If you don't know, I recently tore my Achilles on Monday. And to make a long story short, I'm going to find a way that I can weave the lesson of the day in trading to something that actually applies to that happening for me. So it was pretty innocuous. My daughter had her soccer, regular soccer on Mondays. At this session, they ended off with like the kids versus the parents. And, you know, go from watching for about 50 minutes, sitting in the lawn chair, to going up there and kind of like jogging around with the kids. Didn't do anything crazy, wasn't running full speed, wasn't like trying to do anything spectacular. Did one small plant at maybe 50, 60% speed and boom, ruptured Achilles, just like that. But the key thing is I didn't warm up. Like I didn't do like even like any semblance of getting myself loose. And it's not the first time. I used to run track. I pulled hamstrings before. I've torn a hamstring when I didn't warm up. And I think one of the things you have to keep in mind is we talk about trading being a mental sport, a mental game. And when you sit down in the morning or whenever you start trading. Maybe you trade the close. I don't know. Maybe you only trade during lunchtime, or maybe you only trade the morning. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. When you sit down and you're preparing yourself for that day, you want to make sure that you're taking yourself through the proper process so that you're in the right spot to trade that open. If you don't put any trades on until 9:30 or maybe closer to 9 o'clock or whatever it might be, I think you want to give yourself some time before that to get a feel for the market, to get yourself ready to execute some trades. And that can come with many different plans, many different apparatus. I think the easiest thing is to have your own routine over time that works for you. I can tell for myself, I miss a day, so I'm actually not trading the previous session. The first thing I want to do whenever that's the case, before I even look at the overall market, is just look at what happened that day in the stocks that I trade. So before I put a trade on Nvidia, before I had any sense of what I thought the market was going to do, acclimate myself with what happened the day that I wasn't trading, if I haven't already done so. Sometimes I've done that work already. So I look at a few key things, right? It broke out a multi-day top, right in here at a 134 level. So I know that that area can be a little bit key. It continued that move, stair-stepping higher, and then it gapped higher. So I know there was a continuation of trend to the upside. I'm probably going to favor some longs in a situation like that, but it's a simple process. It might not matter. It never really comes back into like 133.5. But if you don't observe that opening range the day that you missed, okay, well, it made that top, it broke it out, then held it as support. That makes the level a dip buy level for me on a stock like this. But if you don't do that work, then you're not ready for it if it comes down in. When it has the trend up, there's not many key prices out there. There's the pre-market lows. But if you notice, only trading at two places. Off of the pre-market lows for support, and then outside of the Tuesday tops. So like that previous high, looking for dip buys off that level as it tried to fill in the gap, and then if you're looking long, looking for this. And that's where it comes in just having a plan. You can like the long, but if you go over, hey, what are the key prices, what are the key levels, then it's a little bit easier to wait for them. Because if you've done that work, you'll find yourself in a situation where, okay, it's not just writing that name down. I've gone over this before I put a trade and mentally prepared myself that that can be the case. It's very similar to Tesla. Now, I already had significant levels off like the 182 and the 180 area. But you go back, refresh what happened yesterday. Is there anything that I could also learn from that? Well, sure. If I don't pay attention to what happened the day that I missed, okay, well, Tesla was down, fine, and then it was down a little bit again here today. You can see, just pay attention to what happened on that Tuesday, that 185.5 ends up holding, and then really, I think this would have set me up not for looking at the 182 as a key level, but if you look a little bit deeper, you might look at that 185.5 for an immediate failure. It's trend back in down, and then it held that 185 pretty decently. The other thing that I think you always want to do before you put trades, whether you trade the futures or not, whether you are trading big cap tech, whatever it might be, you want to get an overall sense of what the market does before you prepare to trade, right? So what does the market look like, and what would cause you to feel differently about the overall, let's say, direction up, as you can see here. So you see the market's been an upward trend. What it's typically been doing in holding the trend on pullbacks is when you get a pullback, does it hold the previous level? So if you simply look at the last day, there's your hold. Well, this time, when we move higher, do we hold the previous consolidation bottom, which would be at the end of the session on Tuesday? Well, we don't. We blow through it on volume. And when that happens, your bias can go from feeling bullish to looking for shorts. And in fact, that's what I did. It was at that moment that I went over, and because I had already looked at this chart, I went to an arm short. And again, it wasn't until the futures confirmed underneath that level that I started looking for shorts. We were only looking for longs at the open with one exception, but ARM wasn't one of them. However, when you've gone through all of your charts and prepared for just about everything that you think you want to trade, whether you have an idea off the open for the stock or not, you can find these other trading opportunities. Because I had looked at ARM, and the day I didn't trade it, you had this late afternoon bottom at 170, 180, clear as day. Well, when I see the futures start to show signs of weakness, what's happening on ARM? It's trend down right off the open, pulling back into that key level. So I knew if I went over and saw ARM trading underneath 172 and weak underneath 172, I'm just going to start looking for shorts. It wasn't on my opening note this morning. It wasn't even something that I had mentioned in the pre-market show because I thought I was going to be bullish on it. But the second we turned red and we looked weak on those futures, I knew where I wanted to go if there was a setup for it. I did a similar thing with Intel. There just wasn't a trade on Intel. And that's where preparation comes in. And you know what? Maybe that ARM trade doesn't happen. Maybe it never even sets up. When you go through that mental exercise of finding those key levels, whether they matter or not in either direction, regardless of if you think you're going to trade in that direction that day, you are preparing yourself for the day's worth of trading. Right? When a basketball player warms up and they're taking practice shots, they don't just sit there. Well, some of them do. They just dunk the ball every single time in a warm-up line. No, like my coach used to always say, do game moves. Take shots that you anticipate taking in the game. Do moves that you anticipate taking in the game. Maybe you're not going to take any, fadeaways on the baseline. But if that's part of your game and if you're defended a certain way, you're going to, then just be ready for it. So it's all about preparation. Make sure you always go through your preparation. You never know the moment where that one stock that you anticipated you might trade at that level that might come into play and you have a plan of action for it. You don't know when it's going to matter. 9 times out of 10, it could not set up for you. But the one time it does, if you're ready, then you're going to be able to hit it. So get that warm up in. I know I'll figure out a better solution than propping my leg up on a garbage can at some point, but this is about as comfortable as it gets. So that's your lesson of the day. Make sure you prepare and prepare correctly because there's no replacement for preparation.
Thank you very much, Neil. Obviously, it goes without saying, we all send our best wishes and hope that you have a speedy recovery. Neil Roberts, all I can say is I feel for you, man, and I hate injuries, and I know exactly what you're feeling. So wishing Neil the speediest of recoveries. Centrifuges, Neil. I don't know if you know all about that, but you probably do. So centrifuges. Have you heard about the blood extraction? They use like your own blood plasma to help with the healing time and basically the healing. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It's your own body. So
we need to look into this.
Yeah. I think it's the same. It's like people do that a lot for like a lot of different things.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. Still short. Apple at these levels has become consolidative at this 211 area. I feel like 211 is a bit of an area top. The only thing really got me a little bit not wishful, but hopeful in this trade are the sequentially lower highs with kind of this area at 60 pennies acting as like a local area bottom. So I've still kept my stop the exact same place. If this one starts doing a rounded bottom and wants to break that 211 and a fifth, I've got my stop at 211.19 for the break of the high of this candle over here. If it breaks, I'll change my tune on Apple. I got to tell you the truth. The 10 exponential is now pointing upwards. It hasn't been pointing upwards all day. So this is the first time now it started pointing upwards. The 20 exponential is horizontal, looking like it wants to start pointing upwards. So if you start getting the winds of change, no point being like mentally stubborn, just go with the trade. So what I'm seeing right now are lower highs. So I don't want to start changing my tune too quickly. The lower highs are still in play on AAPL, but I also see here this candle is a higher low, and these two are equal. Could be a double bottom and a rounding of the top. I'll get confirmation to see whether 211 and a fifth breaks. If it breaks, I'm going to look long, and then I'll see possibly here to wet my beak on profits, possibly have VWAP. 211.75 currently where VWAP is. That's a different case for Apple. Currently, I'm going to stay in the short and see and test the waters with that. Now, I'm a little disappointed with myself here because I saw a bit of a battle going on here on Nvidia at 137. Once we dipped down into 137, you can see there was aggressive buying. I'm on the lookout here for a double bottom at this level. 136.25 essentially area is the low. The closing prints on Nvidia right at that 136.5. This candle is turning into a one hell of an inverse or a hammer candle, here, a bottoming tail, but then there you go, gets filled that right away. So let's wait for the candle to close. I'm not going to take anything on a resting order basis like long at 136.25 or anything like that. But let's see if it gets its footing under it, starts printing a couple of green candles to the high side, that this could be an interesting hold here on the monster. NVDA, low day, 136.13. We're printing 44s right now, so very much hanging out near that LOD on NVDA. Adara?
Yeah, I'm trying to give these markets the old 1-2 punch, and instead the markets are like, and they're trying to punch me in the face. It's all good. We got everything's kind of spready today too, I'm noticing. This Tesla, I'm watching for a 183 breakout. We've touched 183 in the sell side, but just now, but we can't get above it on the buy side. I have no reason to leave quite yet. You might be like, Adara, what was the impetus for said short? Let me tell you. Well, I saw this. I had a Dell trade, which did not go well, which we'll talk about in a second. But I got into this Tesla because I pulled up Tesla. I saw on my side chart, I was like, okay, it looks like lower highs, lower lows, right? This could be interesting, but don't get involved right away. Go stand up, get the chicken that hasn't hit, the spiciness hasn't hit me yet, and then go and see how you feel, right? So I come back and I see what we're doing here. I see this gorgeous topping tail candle, and I see that we're having it at this little area of support earlier. Look at that. I was looking at I don't know what that voice was, sorry guys. Try to go short. So I got short, added to the position at 83s because I liked how we were kind of rejecting the area. I was like, you know what, sure, I want to get out some at 182.50, initially 54s. We got to 55s and came back, and I was like, Tesla, why'd you do that to me, man? What are you doing? So I definitely, I wanted to give this one a little bit more room to breathe, because if I had done so in earlier Tesla shorts, this trade up here, I would have been fine. Tesla, you do need to give it a little bit more wiggle room sometimes. And also, like I said, the level I'm looking for is 183. We have not broken above 183 in a buy side, so I'm going to chill. I'm going to try to chill. It's hard for me to chill in trades, but we're going to see what happens. So I want to talk about that Dell, the L I took on Dell, putting both L's in Dell with this trade. Dell's my worst name. I liked the short initially, and I mean, see, I think the call in it was correct. I think my timing was bad. We were below the 90 MA. I get out because we break into 60s. The second I get out, Dell's like, oh, right, the short. That's what I was going to do. I was like, okay, Dell, whatever. But yeah, I'm done with this name for now. It looks like it's continuing to curl higher. Had some profitable trades in it. Had some not so profitable trades on it. So I think, and to be clear, I stand by getting back involved because I saw something I liked. It's just sometimes, you know, it's not, even if you have conviction, even if you have confidence, even if you have confidence, not every trade is going to go perfectly, and you can't beat yourself up for that. The market doesn't have a vendetta against you. This stock doesn't hate you. I kept the Dell side chart up because I'm not necessarily going to get out again. Also, I think Tesla may be getting above this. Yeah, Tesla, I'm going to have to get out of this here. But yeah, I just, shout out to Sharif here, pumping his fist. How was your trade going over here?
We did well over here on the, it's not the dead one, but we took Apple short. We said this, it was rounding at the top. We just took nicely there, 60 pennies on AAPL for the last peak winner. Thank you, Patty. Shout out to you. BPI absolutely killed it on MARA. Shout out to Big Patty, man. I always get the Mara 411. I always know what is afoot with Mara because the guy behind me, he's an exclusive trader. That's the way it is. Well, remember, we all know about what the Amazonian was doing for many moons. And yeah, well, that's what BPI is doing. All right, so AAPL 211 topping tails. We get lower highs, lower highs, lower highs on all of them. That kept me motivated in the trade. The fact that we weren't printing any higher highs, and lo and behold, that low comes in and we cover it there for a nice move down. Now, what's the next trade? So the one that we were yapping about was this NVDA possible double bottom here coming on NVDA. Now there's a couple of ways you can play this. You can take the scalp. You can sit at 136 low 136s, get filled with a resting order. It pops up, you cover, you rinse and you repeat. Or you could wait for confirmation that the double bottom is coming in through a couple of green candles here on the 5-minute look. I mean, it gave you a couple of green candles over here. I mean, if you got in initially after this recovery candle, say you let this one go. Okay, this one goes, you wait for the confirmation, this one comes in, you print. So I'm not saying history is going to repeat, but sometimes history rhymes. So we'll see if this one can kind of have the same look here. I'm not anticipating the same type of buying as you got at that 10-20 candle, because that was a big boy move. 136.13, and that candle ended up moving into 138.18, so $2 in one 5-minute candle there, but that was at a much more liquid time. Keeping my eye on NVDA, that's the move I want to see. That's the trade that I want to see if I can weasel next on this one. Let's see what else is popping off over here. I heard a lot being made about TBLT, a new small cap gapper du jour.
Nice.
Halted, Adara, to the downside this time. Halted once to the high side. That was the 526 HOD. That was the up halt there. So there you go. There's that 5-minute up halt. We're halted down now at 456. Let's find out what the TAP, the theoretical auction price is on this TBLT. Quickly tell you guys, 453. That's 3 pennies south of where we are halted at the moment. There does seem to be, though, this area of technical support at 4.5. Look at this candle over here. At a liquid time of day, it was 11:40. It wasn't when we got the big breakout, but definitely during regular trading hours. We top out there at 450. Lo and behold, we reject. We end up taking it. Now, here's the thing. You got the 50 at the 50. The 50 exponential at that 50-cent area. You also have this as a halt area. You have price action support, previously resistance, also at that $0.50 area. So TBLT, very interesting here at this 4.5. We'll have to see what it does. Currently tap 446, so 10 pennies now south of where we close. So looking like this one's gonna gap down on the open. What time did this halt? Give me 1 sec here, let you guys know the halt time. Come on, bro. The halt time was I can look over here. Just give me a sec. Let's load this up on a trading screen. Let's go over here. No, we're going to leave the monster on. We can't take the monster off the trading screen. No, Dara, come on. You know that.
It's offensive. Nvidia might get upset.
447. So we halted, guys, at 215.50. So, yeah, it's going to open up in about 10 seconds. So we're at 220.41 right now. So this one's going to open down currently 448, excuse me, changing between 448 and 447. Tap, here we go. There it's open, gap down into 44, so breaks that $0.50 level. Let's see if we can recover that $0.50 level. Doesn't look like it's incoming. Keep your eye on the bid here. Where are the big buyers? There's a big buyer at a third. There's another big buyer at 28. It's New York quarter. So let's see if that third can hang out. We got definitely that buyer at the third of a dollar. We're going to get close to that buyer. Here he is at 35, is getting killed, and there it goes. And here comes that buyer at 28. Let's see if we get back into that buyer. Oh, okay. So a lot of price action here. I like this because we're doing level 2 today. So why not have a look at the level 2, right? So that buyer at 28 still hanging out there, hasn't moved at that 28 level, but we also gave way at 50. So I'm not going to take any resting orders here. If it breaks 50 to the high side again and holds, we'll possibly get in, but too much action for my blood right here, Adair.
Yeah, instead of TBLT for Sharif, it's more like TBD.
Yeah, there you go.
We decided on TBLT.
Yes, I like that.
Also, let's talk about Tesla. A theme in my life. No, I'm joking. Okay, so I did lose on this trade. We broke above the 183 with the viciousness. I left. However, you might be like, Adara, then why'd you re-enter the trade? Well, I like this a point of entry better. We had, we pushed above, and then just as quickly as we pushed above, Tesla's like, 183, what's that? So I got short right at 180, well, just below 183, 182.97. And I liked this because I had more confluence for this. And I think sometimes one of the hardest things, and I've said this quite a lot, and this is why I kept trying with Dell when I saw stuff that I liked, even if it didn't work out perfectly, is I feel like I have a tendency, one, trading a stock doesn't work out well. I go, I'm like, oh, maybe that stock's just cursed for me. No, Adara, it's not like that. I am the type of person where I do find, sometimes I trade the best, perform the best in general. If I have my back a little bit against the wall, so I'm like, Adara, try to embrace that. Right now, Dell got you a little bit down, let Tesla get you back up. Took out 50 pennies in the money on TSLA. Please just punch. We could have pushed lower, but I was like, you know what? Let's get that 50s print. Happy with that. Sometimes you just need a trade that you feel good about to come back and be like, hey, markets, I'm still here. You got me down. I am going to try to be the comeback kid over here. Instead of Butch Casting the Sundance Kid, it's, I don't know. I'm trying to be the comeback kid. Let's see what happens here on TSLA. Still down on the day? Oh, yeah, for sure. Down on Tesla? Yep. But ready to keep going? Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to do your not down on the attitude thing because I love it.
Oh, yeah. My attitude is as green as my outfit. Mm-hmm. You know? That is what I'm trying to be.
But
my
hey,
P&L
if I had that green thing that makes the entire screen, I'd hit it.
But yeah, the outfit is all green and my attitude is always all green all the time. Tesla's like, why'd you leave this short? I'm going a little bit lower. But no, Tesla, I don't have any FOMO. I'm happy I took what I took. Sometimes you just need one trade to keep you going because, I want to prove these markets wrong. I had a red day the last 2 days. Today might be another red day, but I'm not going to let that influence me too badly. Not really sure why we have this move down to the NASDAQ here, because we don't have any like news or auctions for another 40 minutes.
No, we are moving down aggressively. It is time to look at the blotter, which for some reason is not on the screen. Let's find out there. I'm just looking at the blotter real quick here to see if I'm getting anything important. Yeah. If it's anything important, it's probably geopolitical, because I'm not seeing anything business related at the moment. We'll definitely keep eyes on that and let you guys know. Apple is in a full state of quadunque. It has broken down now below that 210, but so has Nvidia. The monster is down, Ram, and it breaks down well below that area double bottom that we were talking about, that 136. Yeah, that was $1 and a 2/3 ago. LOD right now, 134 1/4. That's a big move down. Is that an area of previous support? Let's have a look at that. It's pivots, okay? So if you put any stock into pivots, right there, it held up. I don't really see an area. Well, there was a decent area over here yesterday, but nothing I put too much stock into. This 134.50 during the kind of 12 o'clock hour. But anyway, what a move down for Nvidia. Big move down in the markets. We just broke down below 20,100. We were talking about 20,200 about 20 minutes ago or so, and now we're dealing with that 100 point area. But Nvidia right now, I don't want to say this is a bottoming tail candle, because it's one hell of a candle down. It's very red, but let's see what this candle does. Do we retrace a little bit here and mean revert possibly? Big move down for Nvidia. We'll have to wait and see exactly how this starts trading here. Nice move up right now for NVDA. Good mean reversion. So whoever took that 135's already 2/3 of $1 in the money right there. Good move up. Let's see. It's still definitely a bearish engulfing candle, still completely ensconced within the previous candle's range. There is this green candle, but decent move up, at least on a scalping basis. No question about that. 210 still in play here on AAPL. We didn't make another low. So here's the look. I mean, if we broke 210 last time. We know we got to 209.42s. If we reclaim 10 and we take 211 on a close, I'm looking for a possible mean revert here on Apple. I'm not saying that's going to come in, but definitely looking for a higher low and a possible neckline break there. We'll see. We took the short on it, and I have no problems going long. I want to mention that the Katina Man is short Meta at that 502.5, and this is the one that we've been talking about as a great one with lower highs. So the IB high there at 955 takes us into the high of day at 503 2/3. Then every successive high is lower than its predecessor, and that's been intact the entire day. So I would say short the pops on Meta until proven otherwise. Right now, it's been basically down, lower lows, lower highs, and you could create a bit of a downward channel here. Definitely, it seems like the shorting of the pops has proved. Yeah, the Katina Man just covered there, and that makes sense because you're dancing at 500s, right? He's 250 in the money. He's the Katina Man is short Nvidia at 135.40 right now on NVDA. So we're going to shout him out right now. We're going to hope he prints, no question. He's taking the monster short. Shout out to the Katina Man.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out as well to Confidence, because I'm really happy to say I was confident in this AMD trade, and that's why it worked. I was initially I was watching that 160. I was watching what we did here. I said, if we bounce at 162, wouldn't that be crazy? We get to 162.10s, we hold it so well. I'm like, Adara, press buy, press buy, press buy. I don't press buy because I wanted to see us bounce at 162. We get to 161.59s, then 162.25s. I was like, okay, that's the new level. I missed it. Tried to get 162.15s. AMD's like, no. But then I said, you know what, Adara? Maybe get that VWAP short rejection. I don't want to force it, but if you see a slowdown in the book, I watched this. We got to 162.60s, and then things got a little bit slower. I said, Adara, get involved. Obviously, if we break below that 163, like 162.90s into 163, that's where we're gonna have to cut that cord. Got involved, just shy of 162.70s, ended up taking 20 pennies. Could have gotten a little bit lower, but basically when the book slowed to the downside, that's where I got out. Please just punch. I need to trust myself more, and here's just an example of trusting the trade. One thing I want to say about confidence, because Sean said, like, he's like, I know they say that, but it's like everyone needs to have confidence, right? But I think why I like confidence is because, or why is it? A, it's a pun. I mean, come on, guys. But also, I think it's just Sean is so confident in his trades. He's preparing them ahead of time and he's committing to them. And I think that's the level of confidence and the way he portrays that. That's something I'm trying to strive for. AMD, if you're going to be a topping tail candle, best believe I'm going to go short. So maybe some more AM destruction in this name. Also vote for your tickers, guys, because you only have an hour and a half left to do that. Hour 20, actually.
Yeah, guys.
How do you do that, you may ask?
Well, if you guys want to hear about the Katina Man's short on Meta, if you want to hear about his short on Nvidia, or any of the other trades he or Neil had all day, get into the chat right now. Use that prompt that is prompted by Streamlabs, I believe it's called. Exclamation point, the word join, space, $, and the ticker of your choice. I suspect a lot of people are going to want to know about why Apple is down 2 1/5 on the day, or why the future just dropped 200 some odd points off the top there. If you want to talk about the future, get into it. Vote for those Qs, vote for those SPYs. Have your say every day between 2 and 2:30. The big kahunas are locked and ready, and they're ready to take the top 5 names. So let's get to the lesson of the day, guys, because we're talking about level 2 all week. And today, Ram, we're talking about volume. Volume is king, especially in gaps. Is the name of the lesson of the day. So traders, sharpen your focus. Today we'll delve into volume analysis, the king of the order book, tongue-in-cheek, of course. So volume, the echo of conviction, essentially another funny way of saying one of the main things you should be looking for here to help boost your conviction. So volume represents the total number of shares traded at each price level. It's the voice of the market reflecting the intensity behind the price movements. Essentially here, high volume suggests to you strong conviction, either bullish or bearish, it doesn't make a difference, while low volume indicates a lack of interest. And we'll talk about why to be suspicious of certain gaps and certain breakouts that happen on low volume. But gapping up, decoding the volume story, let's start with this one. News catalyst can cause stocks to, what's happening? Nvidia's tanking, apparently everything's happening. Everybody's getting super excited here on the floor. Very happy about this. Meta's tanking. The future's absolutely huadunking at the moment. Let's have a look here to see if we are getting any geopolitical stuff. What is this? Oh, well, there's some Middle East stuff that we already know is going on. We'll have to see if that manifests any further. I'm not seeing anything else. Let me look on the side. Nothing really business related yet. If we get it, obviously we'll bring it to you. And if you guys get anything, that is reputable, you know what I'm saying, that's trustworthy, definitely bring it to us and we'll verify it and we'll have a look there. All right, Ram, let's get back to the lesson. So we're talking about high volume. So the news catalyst can cause stocks to gap up. Price jumps above the previous day's closing price. Should we be maybe doing? I'm thinking maybe we should pause the lesson and be some trading.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause the lesson here, guys.
Yeah, Kyle Burdett, $10 super chat. I love crashing red rockets. Exclamation, so many exclamation points, a plethora of exclamation points. He's very excited. I think he may be very excited. Noted bear Kyle Burdett, excited about the markets going down? No, but shout out to you. Get down everything. And then so many ellipses. Tanking. Yeah, everything is getting down here. AMD, I want to hop back into a short here. I'm just waiting for my levels. But if we break, we're bouncing 161 right now. If we break below 161, AMD, can I get involved? What level was this? 20K. We're going to do this. We're going to do 23s. I'm trying to get this short. The breakdown of 22s wasn't able to get involved. Hey, let's get 21s. If AMD, if you'll have me. I don't know if you will.
It should.
But if you'll have me. I don't think it
down.
will. I don't think I was. Well, I wanted to get up before it gets down, Sharif.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for making sure. What are you looking at as this thing?
I wasn't looking at anything because we were doing the lesson, but I think it's only appropriate to stop the lesson at the moment because the market's doing things and it's. We should probably cover it. I'm seeing here Softy did break VWAP at the moment. A bit of a hammer candle coming in. I don't want to punch short at lows. I want to pop into some sort of support here to get something, but everything is crashing. Look at Meta. Meta broke all sorts of support lines to the downside. Shout out to the Katina man. I think he's $5 in the money. Meta is really coming down. So is Nvidia. Nvidia is breaking 133. Nvidia is tanking. Nvidia is now down 2% on the day. Wowzers. Tesla just broke aggressively below 180, 150. It also broke. It's coming down to low of days. The one that's really not tanking is Apple. It's at 209. I guess it's sold off enough, but I'm keeping my eye here on 20,000. Excuse me, could be incoming very shortly here, guys. We're at 20,016. So big moves down on these markets. 131 incoming, Katina Man, on NVDA. Could we get a 130? What's going on? 130 right now. I'm looking at the TQQQs because I want to see a 20,000 touch and bounce if we get that right now. Big move down on these here markets. Unbelievable, Adair. What are you looking at?
So AMD, maybe I should have been a little bit scalpier. We go to 25 pennies in the money right now and flatten it. But I mean, we got to the level I entered and then we kind of came back down. So let's wait and see. AMD getting a little bit choppy and churny. I will be watching to see what we do here at 161.20 is that previous base. And you know what? I did initially want to add at 161, so I still want to add at 161. Okay, but never mind. AMD's like, oh, Derek, you were complaining. How about I give you more of a move down? I'm like, thank you, AMD. I think I just need to be scalping this more because this is actually getting kind of rangy, which I'm cool with. But I do want to add to this position because I wanted more to begin with. So if we get back into that 160.85s, I'd be pleased as punch. Or sorry, just shy of 161s, I'd be pleased to add. I want to see AMD crack a little bit lower. Not sure if we will, but we are continuing to reject that 161 level. So I'm cool with that. I wish if I had more of a position, I'd be able to scalp out. I literally don't even have enough to take out a piece right now. If I get out a piece, I get out everything, which is why I've stayed. Otherwise, I'd be scalping. Did you find a story on that?
I don't know if this is it. The Supreme Court decision on the tax applicable on foreign profits set to be able to bring in $340 billion in 10 years. Apple, obviously one of the multinational corporations that is going to stand to obviously not benefit from that, and all the Mag 7 essentially. I don't know if this is it. What time did that come in? I got that 12:14. I'm not sure if that's it, guys. I'm unsure, so I don't want to stick to that or anything. But yeah, nice move, nice bounce back up here. I'm keeping my eye on this 20,000. So this 20,000 holds, we could definitely get a mean reversion look here, and we're getting that right now on NVDA and some of these other names. I'm going to go long the future, but that's what I'm doing at these levels. We're taking the future long here, see if we can get a bit of a bounce up, at least a mean reversion bounce of sorts, right? So we'll hang out there. A break of $75 on the TQQQs, and that's going to be out for me. We're just looking for a quick pop, and then thank you. But maybe I should be looking to pop the shorts. Maybe that's the more prudent thing to do. I think that would be genuinely it, because right now it's coming down a little bit here, and we're going to have to get stopped out if this breaks 75 here, Adair. So I'll send it to you to put in my stop.
Yeah, hopefully it all goes well there for you. And yeah, hopefully that it's TQ&A. It gives you some positive answers there.
Yeah, no, unlikely.
But yeah, so this AMD, happy I stayed in this short. I said I was looking for 161.20s. We kind of brushed against it, and then we stay low. I'm like, Dara, don't panic sell, don't panic sell, don't panic sell. You have no reason to panic sell, don't panic sell. I did not panic sell. I am pleased to say I did not panic sell. So I am pleased as punch here right now. I'd be more pleased if I could get out. Like AMD, I have an order ready at 61s. If you want to get to 61s, I'd love that. And AMD is like, I'll get to like 67. So I'm like, well, that's not where I have my order, AMD. But okay, there we go. AMD heard my weird conversation with myself. I'd love to break below 50s. I'll get out with the rest here. I have no qualms. To be clear, I am still more comfortable scalping. This was really scary to have the whole position work out and then go against me like that, but I had no reason to leave, so I didn't leave. In fact, I added this. I'm really just trying to get more into my comfort zone. If I'm going to take these this is not a low of day break for AMD by any means, but if I'm going to take these big moves down, I have to be more comfortable with the fact that they're going to work a little bit differently. It's going to move a little bit differently, and I have to be okay with that. So AMD, I would love to see you crack a little bit lower. Maybe I should have just gotten everything out at 50s, but I want to wait and see what we do here. I think, as Sharif was kind of alluding to, I think there could be a change in the tides. When you have breaks down like this, you never know how quickly the market's going to recover, right? You really don't. So let's see what happens. But AMD will make me a happy man if it breaks, or happy human if it breaks. I just like that man and AMD rhyme. That's why.
Yeah.
For me, guys, the puns and the rhyming potential are going to weigh out over logic sometimes, except for when it comes to charting. But let's see how this goes. I would love to see this break a skosh lower. AMD does not want to get back to my level of entry. So yeah, I'm not trying to tempt you, AMD. Don't, But hopefully we can get this breakdown here. Please this punch that I stuck with this. I don't want to add to this right now because I already added, and that's not really going to be the vibe. Took some out. let's get a little bit low for AMD.
All right, nice. I was able to scalp a little bit there off this level here on the future. Still holding a piece. I'm just going to hold it to see what it does, whether we're able to break above 75 on a closing basis or whether it is just a short the pops kind of day. We're holding right now the low of day on the NQ September contract, 20,1150, and I'm long 91s on, or 74.91s on the TQQQs. If this goes any lower than my entry, I'm just going to cancel it. I already took out the majority of the move to the top side there, but looks like we may get a 75.10 touch. We'll wait on that. Apple into the 10 exponential as well, bouncing up there. I'm looking for a possible rejection. I want to see what it does at the 10 exponential here because I think, you know, if Apple starts moving back down with that Nvidia weakness, we could get some more downside move here on the future. So packing my patience for this trade, looking to basically wet my beak at 20 pennies. If I can get 20 pennies on this trade, that'll be good. I'm at 20 pennies right now, and all of a sudden I'm getting greedy, but we're going to have to cover it there. You said 20 pennies, 20 pennies. So nice move up. Nvidia, a bit of a hammer candle here, coming in on the 5-minute look. 130.49 is the LOD. But we said this before, and that's why I never want to put too much stock into one candle. One of these candles here was forming as a hammer candle and ended up looking like this. And the subsequent candle made a newer low. This candle now has closed. Okay, and this is a bottoming tail candle galore. It's closed now on the 5. What's the 15-minute look? Yeah, that's this. The 15 still has another 5 minutes left. But if it closes like this, and then the subsequent candle above this makes a new high, that is going to be awfully bullish for Nvidia. We'll have to wait and see whether that comes in. It may not. So it could be completely moot at the moment. Right now, nice recovery here on the monster NVDA. This 5-minute candle already made another new high. Let's see if we can get something here on Nvidia. I hate going against the trend, though. That's the thing, right? The trend is down. I'm seeing candles, but the trend is down. So yeah, it's always a tougher proposition. Anyway, yeah, I should have held on to that future trade. I had the right idea there. I literally had bottom wick and then it's still going up. But yeah, the future on the way up a little bit here. At least the TQQQ is definitely not anything compared to the move down, but a little bit off the lows there.
Yeah, so AMD, I will say, based on my book levels, I mean, the lesson of the week is level 2, right? So I think I think it may behoove me, I love that word, to say that AMD looks like it's flipping. The resistance initially on the book was 161.20. Looks like we're pushing above that now, so just be aware. Not that my book levels maybe mean anything to anyone but myself, but I just think the trend is switching here in AMD. We're breaking into, oh my gosh,
nice.
What a move up here. Shout out to Sharif there. I'm just going to clap while he does this trade. But AMD, I did add a little bit there at 80s. Should have taken everything out when we got back to 60s. But honestly, I'm really proud of what I did. I was like in a little bit of a space there with those Dell trades, some of that Tesla, but you just have to keep finding stuff you like, going for it and going after it. I have made up for a significant amount of what I lost still down on the day, but we know Sarah. I'm always up on positivity. And as you know, I want my outlook on life to be as green as my outfit, even if my P&L isn't. But P&L, we can get there too. Positivity, staying focused. And I think positivity can always, I don't think blind positivity, right? But I think positivity can be that first step, because if you don't have anything to look forward to, what are you doing? That's kind of my take. So AMD, if you keep rejecting 160, 160, I will go back after you with the viciousness. Watch out. I got eyes on you there. That's all I have to say. Wowzer, says Kevin Mendoza with the eye emoji. I mean, I think he summed up everything.
Yeah.
Wowzers. Shout out to you, Kevin Mendoza. I do not disagree with anything that you just said there.
Go gadget arms, man. I don't know what else to say on this. Beautiful recovery here on NVDA. Was able to scalp this quickly here for a 30-penny winner, but look at it, just head up. We got in at 50s and covered, well, actually more than a 30-penny, about a 45, 50-penny winner, but that looks pale in comparison to the move that's happening right now on NVDA. So that bottoming tail candle, beautiful looking bottoming tail, hammer candle, not inverse hammer candle. Just a regular hammer candle. I'll get it together. Sorry, guys, I'm lacking sleep. But yeah, nice move up. Look for rejections at 136, 135, 50. That is yesterday's closing print. So possibly an area of importance for the Nvidia long that whoever is in at the moment. What else we got over here? Whew. Yeah, interesting day. Sorry, we had to interrupt the lesson. for that. I'm sure that that's okay with everybody because I mean the price action was pretty fast and furious there, so I think it made sense. What else we got? We got Softy recovering off VWAP breaks, a lot of two bottoming tail candles coming in there, showing you a lot of buyer exuberance at that 443. Now we're breaking through 444 above VWAP and maintaining that higher low look that we've been basically in play on Softy all day. Since that big Huadunk right at 930, it's been incrementally higher lows. We'll see if Softy can go back into Greensville in the day. It's got to get into that 446.5 to do so. So great. Oh, there. Look at Softy go, man. That candle there looks awfully good. These lower highs, okay, so be cognizant of that. These lower highs are still in play, but I would say to you that that was probably just a bit of a heavier pullback. I'm interested in Softy long here if this market recovers. Let's go ahead and pull up Microsoft on a trading screen. Let's put up MSFT. And yeah, this is going to be interesting to see whether we can continue up on this move on Softy. I know that there's making higher lows.
Oh my gosh.
What's up?
No, I'm just saying, this has just been such a fun day to trade.
Oh, it's been very interesting. It's all good. Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm sure. Yeah, look at this beautiful recovery here on Softy. What I'm concerned about, guys, are these higher lows. This is what I'm talking about over here. I'm cognizant of that. I don't want to get trapped into that. But I do know that the lower highs. I said higher lows. I meant the lower highs there. That's what I'm looking at there. So we'll see if yeah, maybe this is a short the pop kind of thing here, because the Katina man is short Nvidia again on the pop at what price? He re-shorted 134, and the 5-minute candle that just came in on Nvidia right now is awfully topping tailish. So we hope he prints on that. Obviously, goes without saying. So I'm looking at Softy right now, Adair. I'm gonna think about getting short here. Let's see what comes.
Yeah, sorry for that weird excited sound there. I took 25 pennies on Nvidia quickly on that 5-minute candle because I was looking for that 134 rejection. I said, Adara, like we dropped from 133.75 to 133.85 to 133.75, lickety split. I don't know why I sound like I'm from the 50s there, but I said, Adara, just take it short there. So I did. Honestly, like I have to say, my apologies for the double negative. I'm never not scalping again. Like in these moves here, the scalps on Nvidia and AMD, these have almost made up for my red day on taking stuff like Dell, which was just not my type of trade. So I think that really taught me. It's like, obviously, I'm not always going to get these like reversion moves that I can trade like that, but it shows me that if I have them, this is the type of stuff I need to be waiting for and taking advantage of. I need to focus more on my SPY scalps, my IWM scalps, the stuff that gives me those moves. Nvidia, if you want to come down again, hey, by all means, I'll get back in the party. Sorry for the excitement, guys, and
why
for
not?
the fact. I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, why not? I think it's sometimes you have to have these moments that make you realize what type of trader you are, what type of person you are. And I mean, I think this might be it. Nvidia, I don't know if you're going to give me that short again because I don't like how you're curling back to 134, but you have to have that confidence to take trades, and this is a huge thing I've learned today. Apologies for like going like, oh my gosh, while you were talking.
That's all good.
Yeah, that Nvidia is just like taking words out of my mouth over there. But congrats on your Nvidia long, because that was, I think, a great look. And I think it shows you too, like what we were saying, almost said yesterday on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You can play things different directions and both be profitable. It's about your approach and how you take the trade and honoring your trading style.
Couldn't agree more with that. Just put in my stop here on Softy. I'm trying to go short here. A bit of a topping tail right now. My stop is going to be above the break of $0.25. So come what may, it's a little spready at the moment. We'll see if we can get something here on a mean reversion, move back down on Softy. I was looking at 445 possibly being a bit of a resistance level. We saw these higher lows. Sorry, lower highs. I'll get it right today, I promise. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So what are we going to do? We're short at 85s. I'm going to be looking to cover. We'll cover at 66s if we can get some there, and then we'll look to hold a little bit more if we're able to. So we'll see what we get there. Shout out to Tracksuit. Historic day, honestly. Very glad to have y'all to enjoy it with Sharif and Adara. I do have to change my undies, though. Be right back. Thank you for the graphic description there.
Love that.
Tracksuit, but point well taken. Yeah, Ram's displeased with it. Point is taken, though. Point well made. It's a great day, especially on the midday, you know, when sometimes we lack a little bit of volume. But shout out to you. Hopefully you're green as well. Dandelions, $2 super chat. Shout out to Dandelions. So you are never not scalp. So you are So are you? Okay.
I think it's a take on because I said.
Can you tell I have not had enough sleep?
No, because I said earlier, I said like apologies to the double negative, but I'm never not scalping. And so then, Dandelion said you're never not scalping Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia. I mean, I always try to approach with more of a scalpiness. But I mean, to be clear, like if I don't see anything I like, I won't take it. But if I see something I like with that Nvidia and the AMD, I'm gonna scalp. And I also just missed another opportunity to scalp Tesla here. But you know what? We're gonna try to get involved here 48s. And if it keeps dripping, we're gonna keep hopefully having that Ric Flair dripping that woo. Because I'm really happy. I think too, like with scalping, it's just those quick split seconds moments where you see stuff that you like and you just have to get involved. And that's the type of person I am. I think. A little bit the type of trader I am as well, so I want to stick with that. Thank you, Danny Lyons, for the super chat, and I do apologize for the double negative. The point I'm trying to make is no more of those weird movements waiting for Dell. I don't need to be about that. There's enough. You don't. That was my death knell, if you will. Just waiting for those types of trades. I like ranges, but I do like them when it's a little bit faster moving, and I think especially if I'm going to trade some of these larger names, I need to be focusing on those and not those spready ones like Dell. Tesla, I don't think I'm going to get the 180, 150 I want, but I'll keep an eye on it there. But yeah, what a fun day we've had.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep it coming.
No question about it. Still in this softy short. It keeps coming close to my fill, and then I don't get filled. So I'm trying to pack my patience here. I'm sitting at 66s. I think that's the appropriate area, right? So we'll see if we get filled. Here comes 71s on the ask. We got seeing 69s now. So there's a buyer here for whatever reason. A bit of a topping tail candle forming now. It hasn't closed. It's kind of keeping me a little bit motivated here in the trade to see the topping tail candle come in, but we're definitely not out of the woods on that. So I'm looking to add. I've got a planned DCA on this for an area add here at 15. So if it makes it up into 445, 15, I'll be looking to add another beak wetter there. I'm also keeping an eye on Apple. I'm also keeping an eye on the future. Surprise, right? Because the future is coming back into 20,100, and this could be an interesting area if we move back into 20,100, because we could be met with some selling there. So I'm anticipating, some support and resistance coming in about 10 points from here. There we go. Now we get the fill on Microsoft, so it's going to have to hold these levels, or we're going to get out if it breaks $0.25. So looks like we might get stopped out here as it comes into that $0.25 as we make that 20,100. So if I get stopped out, and there I'm going to get stopped out, I'm going to basically look to get short again if we reject that 20,100. I still like the short on Microsoft. Let's see what comes.
Yeah, so Nvidia, I got back in this short. I liked the look initially. We were hanging out at that 134.75 level. Again, I risked into 134.20 as we broke above. I got out. So yeah, still doing better than I was earlier in the day. Did lose a little bit on that trade, but if you like something, you have to be able to take the risk. That's the huge thing I've learned. No risk, no reward. No Rari. Yeah, no Rari. No Ford Focus. No I don't know. What are those? Shout out to those cubed vehicles I like. No Chevy HHR. No Nissan Cube. You gotta risk money to make money. Nvidia back below 134. I am back to considering a short here. I maybe should have risked a little bit more here. Like we didn't even break above that previous candle, but I want to watch what we do because Nvidia seems to now be flipping from resistance at 133.75 to support at 133.75. I don't feel good enough about that to take the long, but it is something enough to give me pause before re-entering the short. I will put it that way. What's everybody looking at here? Revenge of the algos or something, says Bonkzilla. Yeah, I mean, the algos are doing something. Carrie Weaver saying, happy Thursday, Bears and Bulls. Happy Thursday to you, Carrie Weaver. And I think Bears versus Bulls, shout out to our lovely moderator, and Bears and Bulls everywhere, I think are having a fun day.
Oh, yeah.
These markets have been giving the Bulls opportunity to nibble on some profits, the Bears opportunity to nibble. I guess Bulls don't nibble. I don't know. Everyone's having a good time. My brain is like, firing with all this excitement. And Nvidia, you want me to take you short again? Don't have to ask me twice. Nvidia breaking back below that area. Don't know if I'll get what I want, but man, I will try. How are you doing? Good.
Back short, softy, looking to cover some now. It's just, I'm looking for that rejection at 100, and we're getting it. We're nicely in the money now, about 20 pennies almost, but we'll have to, it's spready. So even though, there we go, we got the fill. Let's see what we get now at 445. So we're breaking down below 445s. I'm going to be looking to cover possibly here at 85s. If we can get 85s through the break of 445, that would be good. We'll see if we can get that. Dancing down the low 90s. Let's see if we can get that mid 80 print. That's where I'll be hanging out. Good topping tail candle coming in on Softy, but again, it's the second one. Right, and we you know, it still made a higher high and a higher low. So topping tail or not, it still made higher highs and higher lows. So we're in it. We covered a little bit, but that 445 seems to be strong at the moment, and we're still dancing with 20,100. We're below 20,100 at the moment, so that's kind of keeping me motivated as well. Seeing topping tail candles, I mean, that just tells you that sellers, shorts, bears are stepping in at this level, but just not enough to, at the moment, really push things down as aggressively as perhaps, you know, my trade would like. So packing my patience here. We're in the mid 90s, we're in the low 90s, but it looks as if we're gonna have to wait a little bit here. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna be able to look at many of your questions. I've got to look at these trades. So I see the red coming in. I do apologize. I promise I'll get back to them as soon as I'm able to cover some of this trade over here. We're at 91s again. Again, I'm sitting, here we go, 89s. Been sitting at 85s, but still the spread kind of wide. There we go. Now we got the print. So now nicely 40 pennies in the money here on MSFT. Let's see. That's one hell of a topping tail if it closes like that. Well, it's still got another minute or so to close, but what a topping tail candle right now on Softy on the 5 minute. Let's see if we can get a little bit more here, Daryl, on the way down.
Yeah, in case anyone cares at all about Adara's book read on Nvidia, trademarked, no, I'm joking, not trademarked yet. But no, Nvidia is doing something bizarre between 133.50 and 133.70, 133.80, but mostly 133.60 to 70. That's why I ended up taking 10 pennies a little short and getting out. As I say that, Nvidia's like, what are you talking about? I'm breaking lower. I'm like, sorry, Nvidia, I didn't mean to offend you. But Nvidia, I still think is curling down here. We cannot get above that 90 MA. I should have probably even stayed in that first short I had, but potato, say la vie. You gotta stick with your risk management strategy. So let's see, Nvidia, if you flip from 133.60 resistance to support, support to resistance on the book, you know I will go short. So watch out, Nvidia. Thank you, Kyle Burdett, for saying there is a tip auction at 1 p.m. I mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
We are aware and ready for the tips auction. So thank you for putting that out there as well. I literally have my financial juice open right here, ready to go when we get that auction ready to go. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm always gonna kind of go short here for the most part if I can. That's like, you know, not because I have issues with longs. I just find I trade better when I'm in a short. Like there are times when I've been in longs. Like I was in long when those Nvidia breakouts and I somehow lost money on that. So I don't know. I just think you have to stick to what works for you. Right now I'm being short. Millie saying, don't be bamboozled. Yeah, no, you don't want to be bamboozled. You want to be trying to bamboozle the markets. I think if you have that confidence, you got to go after stuff. Tesla falling here, so I should be keeping an eye on that. AMD, I want to see if we do it 161, but I see here you say get down. So
yeah,
like you're doing
and
well.
the thing is, I just covered my short, but again, this is my mistake, and this is something that I've done often, and I'm kind of, yeah, this is my fault. I had unclean stops, and so then it triggered long, so I had to flatten out right away. But that was a decent trade there. Top short, go down. 445.19. We covered there at 444.63. I'm happy with that trade. That's a good trade there. I stuck with my guns on this trade. And this is what I was seeing. This is what I kept yapping about, guys. Look, I mean, lower high, topping tail. Look at this candle of indecision. Lower low, lower high on this candle as well. So I was like, come on, bro. And we were coming into that 20,100. We come into 20,100. We do a topping tail inverse hammer candle. And then the subsequent candle makes a newer low. So I was like, this has to be right. Obviously, you never want to have confirmation bias like that, but that's genuinely how I was thinking. So good move down here. But Softy seems to be a bit strong at these levels. It's only down 1/3%. So Meta's kind of the... No, so what am I saying? Amazon's obviously up 1 1/5, and then Goggle's up 2/3. Meta's flat. Microsoft is down 1/3, so definitely not doing as badly as some of these others. But yeah, that 20,100 rejection looks good for now. If you were waiting there on the NQ or the TQQs or whatever you were trading, you could scalp this nicely. decent move. Where did this candle top out at? 98s. So you didn't actually get to 100s, but if you front run it by a couple of points there, you got filled. And then the low of that candle was 67s. This candle made 58. So that's a decent scalp there on said NQ. I don't know if you're still in that Nvidia trade. No, you're not. You're AMD short.
I've been scalping it enough.
I love it because look at this. Look at these moves into the 10 period, topping till candles reject, reject, reject. Lower lows, lower highs. So rounding top again, coming all the way down. So Nvidia looks interesting here. Looks like it's trying to recover, but definitely rejecting off the 10 exponential right now. John Del Segno, Intuit is just going up and up and up. What's the ticker for that again?
INTU.
Thank you. Let's pull that bad boy up. Let's bring in said. Shout out to Kevin Mendoza. INTU. All right. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, it's expensive. That's why, right? That's what you're saying. I see. Yeah, Intuit. Nice move there. 609 and 2/3 close yesterday. Now it's 617, essentially a high a day. Obviously, much less of a liquid name. About three-quarters of a million shares traded on the day. Yeah, interesting. Is there a catalyst? Oh, there is. Intuit expands Ideas program and its partnership with the Los Angeles Urban League, offering small businesses free access to Intuit products. That doesn't seem like a market-moving thing.
It doesn't.
No. Well, it is because that's the only headline that it really has on the day, unless it's something else. So, yeah, sometimes you just, just got to accept it for what it is. Anyway, good move up right now on Meta and on Amazon. Decent recovery on both those names here. A bit of an outsized recovery compared to the other two. Kind of not surprised. They're the only two green names on the day right now. Well, Amazon's green. Google is green, excuse me. So I was wrong there.
Yeah. What a day it's been. We're going to have 15 seconds before we get that tips auction. I'm not getting involved in anything until I see what that auction has to offer. AMD should have taken everything out at the 161s. Tried to get out the rest at 160.90. We bounced before I was able to get out, unfortunately. I have no interest in getting in a short at AMD when we have this bottoming tail candle. But yeah, did make some money on that trade, so happy with that. Okay. Let's see how this keeps going. This has been a fun day, and I think that really taught me, when you have your back against the wall, what do you do? What kind of trader are you? To me, this was honestly, I had more fun, and I've been more profitable, honestly, though I'm still down in the day. I was able to make up pretty much all of the, oopsies, for lack of a better term, from earlier today. And the reason I didn't do as well earlier today is because I was not scalping as much as I should have been. Now we had those scalps. I think that was, sometimes you need to, you have to, the world will prove to you who you are. And I think in this case, this was, I have to scalp. That was really where I felt more confident. That was when the trades were going a little bit better. So let's see how this goes. I want to see what we get on this auction, the re-auction. We got that was the 4 weeks. So we don't have the 5-year tips yet. Let's wait and see what's going on here. Look at Amazon. Oh, Cal Burdett asking about the Amazon charts. I'll pull that up saying, look at Amazon. 5-minute chart, lower highs, lower lows from high. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. And I like that we also rejected here at this 185.20, which is, slightly lower high here, but it was a rejection near that previous area. So that's kind of interesting look for sure. Guys, I know we have that auction. I'm waiting to see what that number is. Just waiting for that number right now on that auction. Metal Lord saying a Dara short queen. I don't know about that. I'd like to be, but thank you. I appreciate the nuts. I just feel more comfortable taking shorts, which is ironic because when I first started trading, I was scared to take them. But yeah, I like that look, Kyle Burdett, with these lower highs, lower lows on Amazon. It'd be interesting to see what we do at VWAP because we're kind of hanging out here a little bit. But that auction, the auction for the reaction might be a little bit more of a winner out here. Let's see what happens in here. Yeah, Stephen H. just here with a lot of alarm bell emojis. I do not blame you. This market's sounding a lot of alarms, giving you a lot of opportunities. Amazon breaking lower. Shout out to Kyle Burdett for calling this out with these lower highs and lower lows here. And this topping tail candle as well, pretty clear sign of further downturn at this 186.25. Wow, Amazon has fallen.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It fell nicely there. Another lower high there. Yeah, keeping my eye on that. I want to mention what Manuel Palma was talking about there. He's talking about Zap. Zap was doing things, and I think according to our friend Manuel, he looks like this one could be on the precipice of a breakout. Zap holding VWAP. No, he didn't say that. He said it held VWAP. Okay, so here's what I see, Manuel. A little bit below, a little bit above. So I would trade Zap as a range rather than a breakout trade. It's shown you its propensity to kind of bamboozle you if you want to use VWAP as your standard for whether it's breakout worthy or not, because above VWAP, then it retraces and it ranges. Above VWAP again, consolidates and ranges. Wait for a decided breakout and then maybe perhaps use a former area of resistance as support or punch long and use the former area of resistance as your stop. However you want to play this, whether you want to take a breakout trade or a retracement trade, it's all up to you. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to jump into this too quickly just because it's showing you the propensity to range a little bit above, a little bit below VWAP. In terms of small cap gappers, ALUR, it's still above VWAP. Any trade into the volume weighted average price on ALUR has proved profitable, even though it's making sequentially lower highs, and that's just quite obvious there. So be careful with that one if you're going long. GRDI still in play. And this one, you know, again, I wouldn't have traded this one using the VWAP system. It's showing you here its inclination not to want to use that as a standard. It's, in fact, it kind of looked like it was the $1 play here that really kept everything afloat, because all the dips south of 1 on GRDI, all of them got bought up. In fact, they all look very bottoming tailish, which is very bullish. And then to add, you know, kind of sugar to the drink or whatever, I don't even know what to say there, you started getting higher lows, right? Incrementally higher lows. You're getting some zigzags, but one discernible trend you can see over here is incremental higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then you got that big boy breakout, and then you ended up halting. The beautiful thing about this one is he gets into that 1 2/3, comes right down into the volume weighted average price. All of a sudden, it wants to respect it. Doesn't respect it all day, but right over here, it seems like it's using it. So right back into that area. Keep your eye out on that 145. Seems to be a bit of an area top on GRDI, but doing good volume and well above VWAP right now. Actually kind of breaking out. What's going on there, Katina, man? Nvidia just broke 132 and it's headed all the way down as the future also takes another nose down. So that 20,100 rejection ends up being clean, and that beautiful retracement there, topping tail candles, and then it starts rounding out. Shout out to the Katina, man. Big move down right now on NVDA as it trades at day's lows, down 2 2/3. Speaking of trading at day's lows, AAPL trading right there. It's about 20 pennies less than 20 pennies off that 209 1/4 LOD on AAPL Adair.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard of sibling rivalries, but have you heard of cousin rivalries? You might not with Lisa Su and Jensen Huang. Ooh. We have in AMD up about 4% still, despite quite the move to the downside, which I've been basically just shorting every pop has been the theme of the day for me here. We have a bit of a base here on AMD. I would say on the book, it's more of a 160-60, though it does look like 160-80 on the chart. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with shorting every pop on AMD as long as it keeps giving me reason to. I want to, we also get the auction. I put it in the chat, but I'll say it out loud as well here if you missed it. Tips, auction, 2.050% versus 2.242% previous. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see much of a reaction here from the market. I think the market's already pooped out from that big move down and then trying to recover. They're like, oh, you want us to react to the auction now too? Like, let's catch our breaths. But yeah, that notwithstanding, I didn't see a huge reaction, but that is the auction number there as well. No more Fed speak till 4 p.m. when Barkin barks yet again.
Yes.
I cannot wait till we get our new Fed, Beth Hammock, who's set to be coming in here after Loretta Mester retires on June 30th, and then after her vice president replaces her for a little bit. Then we'll get Beth Hammock coming in, I believe, in mid-August. So it'll be nice to get a new Fed up around there.
Oh, yeah.
See how that goes. AMD, I should have taken that 161 short. It's all good. If it gives me another opportunity to, I'll take it. I want to shout out as... Also, this is funny because live Twitter by Trader TV Live, people were saying I was, talking about how I'm short, and then Ramin says, which is also ironic because Adair's actually a very tall guy.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ramin. Shout out to Ramin, who's always killing it there. Ramin, Queen, they rhyme. I think there's a reason they rhyme. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Shout out to Ramin there. She's giggling in the background, which is fun. Also, AMD flat bottom broke, so I don't have a read on that, but I wanted to shout because that was really
Well, Ramin, Queen, Uber Queen, it's all good there. What is going on, Katina Man? The Katina Man is celebrating over there, baby, as Nvidia goes all the way down. Go to his screen. No? Okay. Yeah. $4 in the money on Nvidia. Look at all those covers. Great trade there, Katina, man, bro. Great add to those bad boys as well. And the meta one, show the meta one. There it is. There it is. Add. Cover, cover, cover. He's waiting for 497. Palantir buy right there. 25.50, 30 penny banger. Fantastic trade there, Katima. And you took that initially at the open as well. So multiple trades. If you want to hear more about the Katina Man's trades on NVDA, META, or PLTR, get into the chat right now. Have your say every day on the afternoon rundown. Sean's going to want to talk about his trades. And if you want to see how he traded them, what his thinking was, what his reasoning was, how he got in, why he added, get in and vote for those bad boys right now. If you want to see what Neil's been trading all day, baby, get into the chat right now and vote for your stock every day on the afternoon rundown. Guys, we are breaking down aggressively here. 20,000 incoming. We already broke 20,000 on the NQ September contract at 19,994.75 LOD. We're dancing with 20 right now. I don't want to say, you never want to stand in front of a freight train to the downside, but you know, just the bull in me can't help but wonder whether or not we get a hold at this level. Wait for confirmation before you ever jump in. I'm keeping my eye on the future. 20,000 big level. When's the last time we broke down below the, not like we've been using this contract for all that long. We only started using this contract on Monday. So let's zoom out here and find out. So we broke 20,000 on the 17th. That was Tuesday. Yeah, that was Tuesday? Was it? Yeah. Yeah, what was Tuesday? No, that was Monday. Monday, my mistake. I can get it. So Monday we bleeding together. Yeah, Monday, the day we used the contract, the first day we actually used that contract. And you can see the volume started coming in on that day as well. So you can tell there was mass participation. It broke 20,000. So yeah, we weren't above for that all that long, and the contract's not that old either. So we'll see whether or not this level means anything at the moment, or just another nice round whole number off which to base trades. We're above it right now. And see if we get a bounce here. I'll be looking to take something long on the Mag 7.
Let's keep going here on these markets. AMD, I've just been having, is this my top? Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, this would be sad if this wasn't my top P&L name, because I've been shorting this child to death over here. Yeah, AMD is my top P&L name. And really, this has just been like from micro scalps based on levels I like. The reason I paused on this is because I wanted to see another 161 rejection. Then I got it and I was not able to punch quickly enough. Unfortunately, fingers were a little bit too slow. AMD was like, yeah, I'm going to move too quickly for you, Adara. You had to be more prepared. I said, that's fair. I understand that. But yeah, so AMD, like I said, once the key levels for me on the book, well, also the chart, I think 162, but for me on the book, that 162.20 has been, or sorry, 161.20 has been remarkably spicy. 161 has been remarkably spicy. Then every 10-cent increment, except for 90s. So by that, I mean 160.80s, 160.70s, 160.60s. Those have all been deeply interesting and spicy, for lack of a better term. But yeah, like I said, no real reaction here. No real reaction there to that tips auction. I did mention that earlier. We were slightly lower than the previous print. Bless you to whomever sneezed. So let's see. I don't even think whomever was correct there. Should have been whoever, so apologies for that. Apologies for grammar issues. There we go. Let's see how this AMD goes. I'm okay with shorting this again, but we do have a lesson to get to pretty soon, so I'll get that all set up on my end.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't finish that.
No, it's okay. I'm just like, AMD's being gorgeous over here. What are you looking at before we...
I'm taking the mean reversion bump and the 20,000 hold on the future. I'm long T triple Qs. We're nicely 15 pennies. We're about to go 20 pennies in the money here. We are 20 pennies in the money now. So let's see if we can continue to pamp here on T triple Qs. Obviously, I'm charting off the NQ, but taking the T triple Q long, the leverage product there. Obviously, the spread... not an issue. Here it is, 1 penny. So what am I looking for? A 10-period retracement on the future. So 20,059. If we can get to 20,059 on the NQ September contract, I'll take out everything here on the T triple Qs. We'll see if we can continue to run up. Looking at Softies bouncing. I'm seeing Meta bouncing as well. The dead one, Apple's bouncing as well, but I really have my reservations about that as a long. today. It feels like much cleaner of a short. Go Future. All right, we're nicely in the money now on this name. Let's see if it can pump up a little bit. Just touch 30s right there, 75 30s on the TQQQ. Still down 2 1/5, no question about that. I don't want to overstay my welcome because this is just a quick scalp mean reversion trade. I don't anticipate the winds of change are coming or anything like that on this name. I wouldn't be so callous as to say that we're down 3/4 of a point in everything really here, except for the Amazon. And now, well, now Meta and Softy are both negative as well. They were both green. So it looks like it's just Goggles and Amazon today that are green on the day in Mag 7 world. AMD obviously is still very positive though, Adair, even though that's not the Mag 7.
Yeah, Google has just been chilling. Goggles don't care, says someone in the chat here. And I mean, that is not incorrect. Kirby says goggles don't care. Yeah, I don't disagree either. I'm going to put this Tesla chart up for myself so the second I'm done the lesson, I can just look at Tesla. Right. But right now, no Tesla, but Lesla. Time for lessons. Level 2, volume is king. What is volume? King or queen. It's royalty. That's what matters.
Yes.
So this will help you sharpen your focus because today, like a pencil, sharpen that focus. I didn't really like the visual image that gave me. But today we're going to get into volume analysis, which is the king of this here order book. So the volume is the echo of conviction. I had to. Volume. I'm always happy Ramin likes it. Ramin can be a tough crowd. So when I make her laugh, I always feel like I did something right there. So shout out to Ramin and Fabian. They're killing it every single day.
Yes.
Volume is going to represent the total number of shares traded at each price level, and it's going to be the voice of the market, reflecting the intensity behind each price movement. And high volume can suggest really strong conviction. They're bullish or bearish, while low volume indicates a lack of interest at a certain level. So let's talk about gapping up because this can decode the volume story. So news catalysts can cause stocks to gap up, have these big old price jumps below the previous day's closing at the open, and volume can play a huge role in interpreting the gap sustainability. So high volume breakout, if you have got a breakout from the gap accompanied by high volume, that can signify strong buying pressure and a potentially sustained move upwards. This is a good sign for potential long entries. But a low volume breakout can do the opposite. You want to be cautious of these gaps low volume. Those can be fake out breakouts. And these breakouts are going to be a little bit more susceptible to being filled or having the price return to the gap area because there's a little bit less conviction behind the move. Instead of a big confident layup, it's a little bit more of a, You know, the basketball player wasn't trying too hard. He's like 7 foot tall. He just kind of put that thing in there. You want the, like, you know, the 5'9" basketball player with that really strong, I don't know why basketball is the analogy I chose. Shout out to Neil's lesson of the day with basketball references. But if you want that, well, with lots of conviction, lots of oomph behind it, that's the breakout you really want. Here's a high volume breakout. I love this example. You've got our little lower high. This is actually kind of interesting because it kind of looks flat bottomy on the daily chart, but because it's a daily chart, it's all good. We have our breakout, and then we push even higher. That's a flat bottom look, though, is it not?
I know,
it's interesting.
It's probably a catalyst, though.
That's true. You've got your because you've got
and
your
the volume is there, and that's why I put it right there because it broke out on volume.
I love that. No, I just like the chart you use. That's why I think it's interesting because it shows you technicals with breakouts. They do not mean squat.
No.
Nice look. Oh, hi, Sean.
Right.
His face was there for a second, but yeah. I'm sorry.
Ram's upset that we're exposing her mishaps.
We weren't trying to. Shout out to Ram.
We make lots of mishaps too, Ram. So.
All the time. But yeah, so this low volume, or at least I can speak for myself.
I do.
Okay. But yeah, so this is a low volume breakdown. So you have that breakdown, but the volume isn't really supporting it. And then you've got your gap filled in here with low volume. So yeah, interesting look there for sure. Let's talk about volume confirmation, okay? Information for confirmation. Ooh. So volume analysis isn't going to be enough on its own. You always want as many pieces of the puzzle as you can get. One piece isn't enough. A puzzle requires sometimes 500 pieces, right? Depending on what kind of puzzle you're completing. So you want to make sure you're integrating your volume with other confirmation signals. So order book confirmation is one example. You want to look for high bid volume concentrated at the breakout level in the order book to reinforce the buying pressure suggested by your high overall volume. Price action confirmation. What's that? Well, we'll tell you. You want to observe how the price behaves after the breakout. Do you have the hold above the gap with continued buying volume, or do you have it quickly petering out, falling back into the gap area, indicating a potential failed breakout? So here's one example. You've got the high volume breakout, this key $100 level breakout here with high volume. And you can see here, look at all this volume here in the breakout. You have some support maybe to keep an eye out here for at 701.02s, but if you have your area set to leave before there and you get that nice $700 breakout, you're nicely in the money. You might be in a dollar club there. So nice look there, showed out. Let's talk about beyond breakouts. Volumes whispers. You know, it echoes and it whispers. So volume analysis isn't limited to breakouts. Here's some additional insights. Increasing volume on pullbacks can be key. If you've got a stock pulling back here after the breakout and finding support with increasing volume, that can be a bit of a bullish look. Sudden volume spikes can be key as well. Here, this is a sudden spike in volume, not spikely, just a volume spike here. Can be warning of news or manipulation to keep an eye out of. So be cautious and investigate further before taking that trade. Also, because sometimes if you've got those spikes and then things reverse, that can just be like a blip. It doesn't have to be the whole story. So make sure that you have the whole story before getting involved. What about high volume? There's one example of high volume test of support. So you've got this doji candle breakout level, retesting this new support. We get here, we have a little bit of down. Oh, no, we're right back up. Great look. I was like that this doji comes into this previous area of resistance here at that 1.34 level. Isn't that an interesting look? I think it is. So shout out to Sharif for putting these great charts here and for putting this lesson together.
Thank you.
Props up there. Volume and order types here. So you got hidden orders or icebergs. Remember icebergs? High volume after a partial iceberg order fulfillment can signify a much larger order lurking beneath, potentially impacting the price action. So it's like in Jaws, maybe there's multiple sharks. You see one shark, that doesn't mean all the sharks are gone. That was a bad analogy. Let's keep going. So here's one example. You've got your little thing above the circus. That's what you see, but there's a whole big old iceberg below that can crash your ship. So make sure that you steer clear of those icebergs and you're aware of those lurking under the surface. So here, look at this cool video. You can see, watch, you've got your...
so what I want to point out there, Dara, was just look at 720 on the right. No, Raymond, 720 on the right. So if we can restart, there's basically no size there and a whole bunch, click it again, a whole bunch of prints on the right. So you have to look, one eye literally has to be on the book and the other one has to be on the tape because there's no size there on the right to justify this not moving up. So that's your cue that there is a hidden seller there and that there's an iceberg. That's really all I want to make with that video.
Yeah, thank you for showing that because I think that image is really emblematic. But someone just pumped his fist, so I want to talk about that.
Yeah, we're short Apple, Adara. We're short Apple 210.09. We just got prints at 88. Nicely in the money on this one. I'm looking to ride this one lower again. It's been a short of 10 or the 20. Take your pick on AAPL. And it's continuing to print down. Here comes $0.75 on the dead one. So shout out to Apple over here. I'm also looking to get short on Nvidia. I'm hanging out at 33s. I'm sitting at 132.88. Technically, the whole point here is for a 10-period rejection. Nvidia has rejected the 10 exponential on the 5 over and over and over again every single time on the 5, essentially since breaking this, coming down from this rounded top. That started around 11:35. All the retracements into the 10 have sold off. I get that we are kind of ranging a little bit over here, but I'm going to take my luck with said 10 exponential retracement if I get it. I'm hanging out at 88s. We'll see if we get it. Back to AAPL, holding out here at the mid-80s. I'm unsure of where to cover. I could wait for low of day. I think that's quite ambitious. On Apple, 209.25 is LOD. I think, the $0.50 should suffice. Wow, what a move down into Apple. Here comes that $0.0075 right now on the dead one. So happy with this trade. Let's see if we can get down into that lower 60s. I'm going to cover in the lower 60s if we can get some. We're showing 69, some 70s right now. So we'll see exactly what we get there on AAPL. Mid-60s will have to do it. That's the end of the trade there. Happy with this trade on Apple. So let's see what else is moving out. Over here, now let's go focus on this Nvidia short that we want to get into. We're probably not going to get in, quite frankly. Doesn't look like it's making its way up. And also, I want to mention one thing here. I should be careful what I wish for because there is now 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in a row here on Nvidia with higher lows. I get that it's very much a down day and it's likely retracing into the 10 exponential like it has on previous occasions. I just want to be cognizant of it. 4 higher lows in a row here on the 5-minute look, but still south of 133, still south of the 10 exponential. So I'm trying to, well, I'm not going to chase this down for sure. It'll have to come into my area, but yeah, happy with this trade.
Yeah, happy for you. I'm Happle.
Happle.
Happle stance instead of Appen stance. I don't know. But yeah, shout out to Sharif for his trade. Weird puns aside, killing it there on AAPL. But yeah, so yeah, a nice Tim Cook in there. Also, I want to talk about Tesla. I'm really happy with this trade. Obviously, it did go lower, but we were really pausing at the book at that 180.15. So I got out part of the position there, was willing to go a little bit lower. We didn't, so I got out at 17s. Happy with the scalping. I want to say this again because I know there have been, and I understand because I've had this feeling as well. It's like, Adara, why don't you stay in your trades longer? I make really bad decisions when I do, and I think that, trying to get involved in these longer moves, Dell, earlier today really taught me that. It's like, this is when I feel like I'm in my element. I'm the most confident, and I trade to the best of my abilities when I'm taking these scalps, so that's why I got out of this pretty early. I just wanted to address that. But Tesla, if you want to start a Dressla, I don't know, that worked better in my head, with this 181 level being resistance instead of support, I'll take that. I'll take that heat. I have no problem with that. I will go short that. In fact, you know what? I am going to, and I'll risk into that level I liked of that 81.15. There you go. Please just punch with that. Let's see if we can get involved. I'm going to get involved just shy of 181s. That's going to be the plan, and I'll scalp this out. That is the goal. Trying to stick with the scalping, because that is when I think that the trading comes a little bit easier, a little bit more naturally. Let's see how this goes. What about QCOM, says Grand Opera? Yeah, let's see. It'd be grand to look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm and Micron. I'll switch to this. And I speak about them as a pair because they both had really great catalysts coming out on Tuesday, and they were gapping up on those catalysts. So Qualcomm said potentially that Ming-Chi Kuo was that noted Apple analyst saying that Qualcomm looked like it was going to be one of the top suppliers for the new Galaxy phone for its system of chips, the SoC, and Micron had a lot of that positive analyst notes. So both those are really great on the day. On Tuesday, today though, both of them giving up the ghost. Micron below this 90 MA here, kind of nice. That could be an interesting look. But back to Qualcomm, because that was what you asked about there. Grand Opera, yeah, this Qualcomm is a really fascinating look. I'm going to zoom out. We had this move down here. We tried to brush back against VWAP, and then we continued to push lower. A little bit of a top and churn here. And then we had, I would honestly say, our bear flag breakdown. We had kind of two bear flags. This is the first baby bear flag, this one here. Then we push a little bit lower, chop and churn, push lower once more, try to come back into that area of resistance at 217, and then give up another $2.50. To me, this is just to meet lower highs, lower lows, I have to say, on Qualcomm. But let's see what the quality of the daily chart looks like in terms of levels. Also, yeah, sorry, my chart just gave up on me there. Let's take a look. Tesla breaking lower, so I'm pleased as punch. I think I'm going to punch. Yeah, we're going to punch out a Tesla here because I have no qualms. I am qualmless on that. And then we're going to get back to Qualcomm for Grand Opera. See if we can get a bit of a grander look there at Qualcomm. No qualms in Qualcomm. No, I think it's a short though. We are basically at low of day. Again, not advice, just my take on the chart. But let's take a look at that daily chart. Oh. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, that's nice.
This is a crazy look. I think if we could bounce off this 214 level on the daily, like look at this resistance we had complete with a topping tail candle. Then we come back, bounce, then we sell it off. But if we bounce again, that's not a bad look, Grand Opera. Thank you for reminding me about this chart. Hope everybody in this chat's printing. Yeah. You guys are having a great day because this market has been so spicy. Took 30 pennies on Tesla, and I'm almost positive on the day now. So I think that shows, knock on wood, but I think that shows, what happens when you commit to yourself and your style. We'll see if that keeps up. But yeah, happy. Like I said, I weirdly feel like I trade the best sometimes when I have my back against a wall. So let's see if there's more walls to have our backs against and trade some more Nvidia here. That was a weird analogy. What are you doing? What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at Nvidia. More lows coming in here. 131 coming in for a retest. It looks like we're holding up at the third of a dollar. That 130 level still hasn't come in on the day. The low day right now, 130.49, and they're all aggressive bottoming tail candles that come into that 130 area. Means that there's a whole lot of buyer exuberance at said 130. This is going to be very interesting to see if Nvidia number one, can hold this level on a closing basis, and what we do with this level in the coming days, whether or not it's kind of like a line in the sand that will all say, oh, I should have been adding at 130 for my position. Here's the look on NVDA, biggest red candle on, for a while here on Nvidia, no doubt about that. Definitely $10 from the top to the bottom on the day, but we haven't closed, right? So the last time we had this red of a day on Nvidia, I think that was like mid-April. April 19th was the last time we had this kind of a red.
Oh, I remember that day.
You do, eh?
Yeah. That was my first week trading live.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so split adjusted, it came back into like $750. So yeah, I do remember that day specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wearing my purple suit the day it happened.
I love that's eidetic memory right there, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, but 750 is that's obviously pre-split. That's $750 now, or sorry, that's $75 now. I'll get it together. Anyway, keeping my eye on Nvidia here. See, this is the 5. This is the 1 minute. Let's flip to the 5 because I'm charting off the 5. We haven't had anything above the 10, and I missed my 133 short there, and kind of disappointed about that. But it's holding up at the 131 for now. I don't really have any trades on at the moment. I should have held my Apple trade. This one printed new low of day. So I wet my beak there in the 50s. This one printed 915s. Wow. Just as I was talking about that, Apple prints a new low of day. I was saying $0.25 might be ambitious. Well, I should become more ambitious because $0.25 wasn't ambitious enough. Apple on the way to 209. Remember we were talking about, or I was saying that I thought maybe that the bulls would push Apple above 210 by end of day. I'm still, that's not beyond the realm of possibility, but it's becoming ever more unlikely the more we push lower. So now 209.14 LOD on AAPL. The shorts have been great today. I got to tell you the truth. We've had a couple of long trades, but they were all scalps. The bigger moves, the better moves have been short. The names that have been green or marginally red have been quite consolidative. Like look at Amazon, for example. It's up 1%, but it's done bupkis. It's been very consolidative and hard to trade. Same thing with Softy. Although you could say these ranges, and I think somebody in the chat was telling me, hey man, Softy's back to 445, basically implying, aren't you going to get in on that range? 445 to the high side, essentially 444 to the low side. At times you get a wick into 443 mid-80s, for example. Or this one will break 444, 445, and go to $0.25. So Softy's been rangy, Amazon's been rangy. Meta has really been giving up the entire ghost here. It was green on the day, and now it's red. So yeah, that's my look there. Not much else for me to talk about, quite frankly. Let's look at some of these small cap gappers. Zap is still doing that same thing.
Small cap zapper.
I can't believe this. Look how long it's been doing this. Remember we were just talking about this?
That's crazy.
It literally is continuing to do its thing off VWAP, a little bit above, a little bit below. ALUR has now broken below VWAP for the first time on the day, at least since 9:30 this morning. Held up here at the 50 period, but this one could be headed lower. Maybe you should ask Neil for some shorts on this. We'll have to wait and see. Kind of a same look for Holo. Just broke VWAP first time on the day, trying to hold up above a buck, but Holo right now giving way at the dollar. It looks like we're 98 pennies. We'll have to see if the bulls step in there. ZNTL still above the volume weighted average price, still hanging out at 5.25. Decent look right now on ZNTL. And GRDI though, this has been the best small cap gapper. This broke day's high. We just got a print right now at the day's high at 169. That was a great bounce off VWAP. I didn't have eyes on this, but GRDI, I got to tell you, I was biased to not trading this because of the disrespect that it had for VWAP over here. I didn't think I could fit it into my breakout system. Shows how much I know. Fantastic bounce off that $1.15 and prints a $1.69. Shout out to whoever took that.
Yeah, I guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Sharif, that GRDI was like, Sharif, you thought this of me, and I'm going to do that now. Yeah, but in all seriousness, I'm sorry. Yeah. This has been such a fun day. I took another 25 pennies here in Nvidia. 131.75 breakdown. We came back to 132s and then rejected. I didn't take this one again because I knew it was going to be about time for me to yap soon. I wanted to be able to look at other people's stocks too, instead of just having people watch me scalp things off levels, which I know is not like the most exciting of trades. I'm not Sean Katina or Neil Roberts or Sharif Grobriel over here. I'm just trying to take some trades I like. So yeah, I just want to shout out this awesome community because I'm always so happy to be here, and I'm happy to have everyone in, sitting in this floor, sitting in the chat. So just shout out to everyone. I'm going to stop giving my Oscar speech. But also, Kevin's saying on our platform, MGO and MGOL is different tickers. There's some confusion. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I think. Okay, sure. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Raymer's just going to fix the mic. So let me talk a little bit here. Meta rejecting off the 20 period again. This is a good look here for Meta, man. Holy cow. So I did not have eyes on this. I did not see this. And in addition to that 20 period, it's also the closing print from yesterday. It's $499.50. It's an important level because look at this. The IB lows hold up above 499.50. We at 10 o'clock, 10:30, we come back, we test that 499.50 again. That was yesterday's closing print. Now we're kind of using it as resistance. I didn't have eyes on this. That's my mistake. This flipped basically from support to resistance, and now, you know, any short off 499.50, 499.75 is printing here on Meta. Double top, so clear is that level as a level of resistance. Look at it on the way down. Here comes 497.50. Beautiful move down for Meta. Look for support here, possibly at the 2/3 of a dollar. That's where the middle part of the M held up last time. Ultimately, though, the low of day 496 3/4. Still well away from that, but a buck from that at the level. What a short, though. That's a missed trade by me there. That's for sure. I just did not see that. I didn't have it zoomed out enough to see that earlier part. I kind of had it like this, and I didn't see the part there. So that's on me. Softy is still continuing to range, though, guys. The range getting a little bit tighter, but it's still valid. It's just not making it back up into 445 as many times as it did prior, but still ranging between 444 and 445. Softy giving you that range trade. Careful with the what's it called? The spread, though. Wow, Tesla on the way down. Tesla just broke 180. 179.85. Again, 180 has been a level that's been intersecting a lot lately. I'm less likely to want to use 180 as anything off which to base support and resistance. But yeah, we just broke that $10 level right now. And here's what I mean by intersecting with 180 a lot. You can see that we break. This is the 180 level right here that we're currently at, and you see a lot of zigzagging through it, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, so I'm less likely to want to use that.
Yeah, I'm trying to short Tesla 180 if it comes back and rejects.
Nice.
That's just because, I like these shorts. Weirdly, though, Tesla 175.993 has been the level on the book. Shout out to level 2 week.
Level 2.
So yeah, I'm kind of tempted to take that. I say kind of because I don't know if I have enough, when you have your trades with confidence, when you have your confidence, right, to take a trade. Right now, I feel about this Tesla, so I don't want to rush into it. That being said, every 180 rejection makes my heart grow fonder, let me tell you. But yeah, so I just want to, mention that thing Kevin said earlier. So yeah, I guess there's two different tickers. MGOL is this stock we're talking about. Yeah, so I think that's there's a lot of tickers that are kind of similar to other tickers. So unsure about that. Lots of platforms have lots of different tickers. But yeah, MGOL is that one that was gapper that then sold off. Also, yeah, this Tesla 180 could still be a vibe, but I don't want to force my way into it. If you have a ticker you want to see, though, whether it's MGOL, whether it's AAPL, you guys know what you need to do. You need to go on that chart, not the chart. Wow, trading on the brain. Chat right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you want. GME, AMC, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, AMD. I don't know. Go in there, put in your ticker.
Whatever.
And then whatever ticker you want, even if it's one we don't know, but preferably with volume and stuff, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if there's enough votes for your ticker, you might be one of the lucky tickers, the lucky 5 tickers that is not a mustache, chosen to be discussed on that big screen. So shout that out. Go in there right now and get involved. Carrie Weaver saying, Adara, you should know better than to mess low with stressla. That's pretty funny. Yeah, no, honestly, Tesla has given me some good opportunities today. I'm basically flat on it today, but I was really proud of this trade I took on it. So yeah, I think what I'm trying to learn is having less bias against specific tickers, right? Tickers don't care about your feelings.
They don't.
If I like the look on something, unless it's like a spready Dell-like situation, just because I don't know how to trade those, and I learned that today, let me tell you, then I want to be able to take it. If it's like a mega cap that I'm comfortable trading, why not get involved? That being said, though, my Tesla short came in, so we're going to try to be going for that. Let's go, Tesla. Let me in those Cybertruck doors. Don't close the door, shout out to Jerome Powell. Open the door, let me through. I want to see what we do at 180.20s. That was that last level that we kind of bounced off a little bit. I'm aware we have some bottoming tail candles. I might not get where I want to get here, but you get what you get and you don't get upset. And if you have a reason to a level, we got above 180s, then came back down. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Nvidia getting Nvidia below 130s.
Jeez. Yeah, I saw that. Ugh. 129.52. It's dancing with 130 as we speak, a little bit above, a little bit below. The future absolutely took a nosedive in the last 10 minutes or so. Multiple rejections off the 10 exponential on the 5. Any touch on there was sent downwards, and everything really here except Softy and Google are very much, in Amazon, are very much near lower days. I'm talking about you, Meta. I'm talking about you, Apple and Tesla and Nvidia. Google is spared, but the future is not. We're breaking down now below 20,000. Obviously, keeping an eye on this level to see if we mean revert. Don't care one way or another how we end up the day, but you know, I'm trying to figure out the range, or the kind of trying to get ahead of the move to try to see if we can kind of get a better price. So Apple moving into that 20 period again, and that 20 period off 210 has been money on the day. Now that doesn't have to be the case. So for that long, let's just put in a little bit here. We're going to go short off 210 again here on AAPL. I'm going to front run it a little bit. We'll get like maybe some 92s or something. Oh, I just went long accidentally.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Did I? What the hell just happened there? Yeah, I am long Apple. That's fine. Where are we at? We're long 74s, so we'll just cancel it here. I'm not sure what happened there, and I'm not sure why it didn't show on the position board either. Anyway.
Just like a blip, like a brief, that's weird.
Yeah, that was super weird. That's all good. Keeping my eye on Apple. I'm looking to get short. I don't know how it got me long there. I was looking to get short 95s. So I'm going to put my order there. There we go. So I'm going to put my order. It's in at the moment. We're not really recovering that aggressively on the future, so I don't feel too bad about this trade. I'm sorry for the dark pools. I'll adjust those in a second. I'm sitting at 95s waiting to get short on Apple to front run that size at 10s. But I'm seeing the 20 exponential a little bit south of 90. But it does, yeah, I'm just going to leave the order where it is. Amazon may have support at this level over here. So let's look at Amazon. Where is AMZN? There is good support at 184-ish, 183, 85-ish right here. This is the level that I'm looking at on Amazon. This is going to be an interesting area if it holds around here. And then we'll definitely be looking to get long. In fact, you know, let's just try this as a quick mean reversion hold. I'm going to go long here, and I'm going to put a quick stop below the low. So we'll go 183, and then we'll sit at the lows there, 183.78, and then we'll cover everything a little bit below that. I'll put in a bit of spread. So we're long at 90s. Let's see what we get. The whole point here is just to take a previous area of support long for mean reversion, not a breakout trade. So we'll see what we get here, there.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I just spent all this time waxing poetic. I was like, I only want to be taking my little scalps. And then Microsoft does this little chop and churn you were talking about all day.
I've been told, yeah, 44445.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it because I'm not comfortable trading it. Because I know you are very good at Microsoft. I call you the Microsoft whisperer. You know, he always knows which way the Bill Gates will open. Will they open to the upside? Will they open to the downside? But yeah, so shout out there to Sharif. But also, I'm really proud because Tesla low of days right now are 179.66. I got out at 179.73. So I'm really proud of that. And this is the type of trade, like, you know, a couple weeks ago, even I don't know if I would have taken it. Like, low of day break on Tesla, like. But no, it was like, I don't know what that dance was, but I de-risked half of it because we had some struggles with 90s. Before we had that break, and I was still in the trade when this happened, we bounced off the previous low of day, which at that point was 179.81s. We get to 179.81s, right back to the upside. But I said 180.20s. If we don't break above 180.20s, I have no reason to leave. We got to 180.08s, and I said, Adara, don't panic, sell. Yoga breaths, breathe deeply, keep going. That's why I stayed in, took out half the position, was able to get my low of day break. So I think, you know, like, I think today has just really taught me how important confidence is. Because you can like a look all you want. If you don't believe in it, how are you going to be able to trade it?
Right.
That's the biggest thing I've learned. Like, even Dell, I don't really know if I had enough faith in any of those trades. And I think that was the issue. It's just that's not my style. So I was trying to, like, force the square peg into the round. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can't do that. I don't.
Feel you.
I am not the shape of, I guess, for that. And so it didn't work out. So you got to learn every single day here. Can we talk about Dell? Wow, tank, says Brad Gober. I believe he tanked you, but I mean, I'll take a look at Dell. I was trading Dell earlier today. Dell, you have the dubious role of being my worst name of the day. So shout out to you. No, I had some profitable trades on it. It just didn't work out. It wasn't my style. And I think the levels weren't even that either. Like, where I got this short would have worked out. Because that was the highest it got, basically, where I was de-risking, or not de-risking, getting out if it had held. But C'est la vie. Dell continuing to break lower. Let's look at SMCI though, because that was Dell's co-star in its headline with Elon Musk's Grok. Or the XAI supercomputer, SMCI and Dell, both apparently providing those server racks. So racks on racks on racks, but not stacks on stacks on stacks for Dell or SMCI. SMCI at one point in the morning was up 10%. We're down $11, $12 right now on the day, but we were initially like up quite significantly. So big ouch, super micro move to the downside. And Dell fell, to put it lightly. But yeah, happy to go to the Tesla short where I did. Tesla bouncing up near 181s. I want to see what Nvidia does here. It looks like some of these names are curling. AMD, if you get back into that 161 area I liked, I will short you, and I will short you with confidence. But let's see what happens here. SPY also on a bit of a, and I appreciate, I know you've said like, and I agree, you don't necessarily want to be taking chart patterns on these names, but there is a clear example of every time we get to the 90 MA and the SPY, it rejects. So lower highs, lower lows. So if I see that, I think I might owe it to myself to take this. I want to see, you guys know I'm going to take this on a book basis. Look at also, because we're also rejecting here at this 546.20. This is getting spicy. All eyes on the SPY. We're going to probably short this and risk into 20s. Let's go, SPY. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really happy with this Amazon trade.
Happy for
Took literally the bottom wick on this one. Where did I get in? 183.91, and I was able to wet my beak at a 25. So I did well there, but it continued to go higher. My only thing that I'm really upset with, I should have been covering at the $0.50. There was technical support initially at the $0.50. Look for that to be resistance. This was a kind of an impulsive cover. I should have definitely been looking at that $0.50. That is a mistake by me, but I'm happy with the trade. It was based on this area of clear technical support earlier at that 184, 183, high 80s. That was what got me in the trade, and then you guys can see the result there. The other trade I'm very interested right now, the dead one, is reawakening through 210, and I want this monster short. It's been a short, the 20 or 10 on AAPL kind of day, and now we're at that 210 area. We have that clear area top at 210 and a quarter to 210 and a third. We haven't been above that price since 12:15. That's an hour and a half ago. I like my chances here, and if I don't get it, I've got a clear area break. It breaks above that 40 penny area. I give myself some room, 10, 15 pennies or whatever for my entry. Golden. So AAPL, I'm definitely looking to get short here. While I say that, let me say this. I did say to Adara earlier that I did believe the break of the 210 area was a little premature, especially, usually with these kind of levels, you get at least 1 day test, and then the next day it gives way. So I was kind of a little bit biased to maybe some buyers stepping in, bringing Apple above 210 on a closing print. I still have that bias, but that doesn't mean it has to come in on the midday show. Here it is. It's at 210 and a quarter, and it's about to break up right here. It's 210 and a third. So this is the level that it's been rejecting off all day, and I'm sorry about these wicks. I'm looking at my side chart right now. It's going. It just made a local high right there. It's not on a closing basis by any means, so we could get a rejection, but it's also well above the 20. And now the 20 and the 10 are both pointing up on the 5 minute, and that hasn't been the case. Well, there was one case over here. I shouldn't say that. It did briefly point up. There, I shouldn't, but there wasn't a clear level break there, or was there? There was actually, because this level is a little bit lower. That's why I'm going short. I like it here. I'll give it to about 33s or something like that. Going short here, there.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. I like the shot.
Whatever. We'll see how it happens. Yeah.
I got out of my SPY short, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Basically, the second I got involved, SPY was like, "What do you mean lower highs, lower lows?" Popped up. I was able to get out unscathed. Still positive on the day, though I am down on the SPY now. Tried to flip long on the SPY, and the SPY was like, "Again, Adara, what do you want from me? I am pushing higher. Okay, calm down." I said, "I understand, SPY." The reason I got short Tesla here is because A, we're below the 90 MA, and B, look at these wicks rejections here into 180.70, which is where my stop is going to be here. Because look at this as well. We had this massive topping tail candle into, you guessed it, 180.70. It's not just a 90 MA rejection, it's a rejection off a previous level of resistance. And you know how much I like that. Quite a lot. My profit taker here is going to be wherever we see any kind of cooling down here on the book. I want us to continue to break below 40s. That'd be a great look. Dream would be 180. But that's a dream. Like that, I'm going to be honest, that's a dream. Reality tells me I would like to see us break below 180.40 before I make any decisions, but I don't know. We're kind of curling a little bit higher here. I think we're just going to get out and be pleased as punch with that. So happy with that. This is, you got to stick more. Thank you, Shree. How was your, are you biting on that apple?
Killing it. There it is, baby. Top again, Apple, rinse and repeat off that 210.25. Got in a little bit late, mind you. I mean, I'd like to have had a third, especially since that high. And there goes the break at 210 again. My only concern is really I didn't add enough into this. There's still more room down. So if it continues to break down below 210 again, I'll play that range, man. I don't care. 210.25 to the top, 209, let's say in a third to the bottom. You do get wicks above and below those levels, but the closing prints to the lower end hanging out at that third, 209 a third. I'll get back into this on the way down. I have no issues with that. AAPL, baby. Rinse and repeat type trade. I'm still of that bias, though, that possibly we get a reversion above 210. Not acting on it, though. Want to see what we get.
It's been such a fun day, Sheree.
It has been a good day, Dara.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
Also, Ross Lettingham, it is Adara, A-D-A-R-A, because you're saying, which one are you? And thank you for the compliment as well, Ross. Happy to have you here. But yeah, Adara, like mascara. But there we go. Tesla, I'm happy I got it where I did, because Tesla finding 180.40 maybe a Scotia support. So I want to be cognizant of that. I want to talk about the SPY, though, because I mentioned the SPY and then never got to it because I was too busy in my Cybertruck. I was obsessed with Tesla. But SPY, if you want to bounce here, at this level, that was my risk here, which is around that. Okay, yeah, never mind. SPY was like, I will bounce without you, Adara. So let's see here. If we get into 40s, I'm okay having a position here. I think we're bouncing for sure on the SPY, and I will take a really, really small position here. I want to take those pops. I tried to short that earlier, and that did not work out. So it's all good, trying to find new opportunities. Yeah, the SPY's been on such a move upward here. Can we get much SPYer? I don't know, but we're continuing to go so SPY. Yeah, shout out to Brandon Townsend saying Sharif's been killing it today. Sharif's killing it every single day. Shout out to Sharif for being here. And yeah, I mean, great job there for Sharif. So yeah, let's keep going and see what happens here on these here markets. It's been such a fun day for me. I would love, and I think for everybody, for the markets, I think the markets are like having a party. But you have less than a minute left to vote for the ticker of your choice. Go in that chat right now, !, join, $ space, no, sorry, ! join space, $ the ticker of your choice. So Tesla, SPY, IWM, Nvidia, AMD, Dell, whatever. That's what you need to do here. That's the point. That's the goal. Go in that chat, because if you don't vote, your voice might not be heard. And we believe in a democratic system here at Trader TV Live. So we have until 1:50 to vote, and then you'll see Sharif on the big screen talking about these tickers, and you'll have Sean and Neil breaking it down, saying what they traded, if they traded it, giving you the 411 on the ticker of your choice. Kyle Burdett, I guess this is a reference to the Adara mascara thing. Maybe it's the shorts, or maybe it's adrenaline. Maybelline. Shout out to you, Kyle. That made me laugh. I would say it's a combination of the adrenaline from the shorts. I would say that's what makes me so hyped up there. It's the adrenaline that the shorts are giving me. SPY, you want to give me that 40s bounce? I will gladly take this long here into 60s. You won't have to ask me twice, but you would have to film me there. So we'll see how that goes. The SPY does not want to spy me trading it, apparently. It's like, you already tried to take me short, so I'm done with this. Yeah, if we break below this 40s decisively, because it's been holding 40s beautifully, that's where I'm going to have to take my leave, risking very little to hopefully make like 14 pennies, that's the goal. We'll see what happens. SPY, push into 60s. I would love to see you push into 60s. Go SPY. There we go.
Are you
Please
long?
Just punch. Yeah, I'm long.
Nice.
I tried to go short, didn't work out. I flipped long. So.
Well, we just took 20,000 again. I know it's not the SPY, but they're kind of moving in a little bit tandem today. I want to update all my Socceroos out there, or soccer fans. It is now 1-1. England, Denmark tying Jag in the later half. Harry Kane scored early on in the 10th minute or whatever, 18th minute. England was winning 1-0 for the majority of the match, now tied 1-1. England did win their first match, but it was quite lackluster. It was 1-0 ski. Definitely should have been a bit more given the talent that they have. England, obviously, one of the most talented teams in the Euros, essentially, in the world, too. So yeah, that's not a good there, but they already have one dub under their belt. It's still 1-1 right now. It is in the second minute of extra time, so it looks like it's gonna end in a draw. It looks like, which sucks, but that's the way it is. All right, let's get back into trading here. Meta, Katina man, you still holding the Meta? Katina man, there it is, and we're just gonna hit these. So you're gonna tell me how many times I'm gonna have to hit it. 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna let that one go for a half, and then we'll spin the money for the Katina man. Great short there, Sean at 502.5. Remember that big boy short there. Shout out to him. It has been a kind of a rinse and repeat type day on the shorts, really here from the majority of these Mag 7 names, whether it's been Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, or Meta, they've all been shortable. I would submit to you that Amazon, Microsoft, and Goggles have been the stronger of the bunch, although they have been very consolidative during the midday period while the rest were making lower lows. So the trend is in play still on Meta for the rejection off the 20. All the pops into that yellow line, as you can see here, have rejected on the day. So that's been a great look there. Kind of the same thing here with TSLA, although there haven't been 20-period rejections, they've been 10. So all the 10-period retracements, essentially subsequent to this candle over here at 1210, have rejected. So it's been a rinse and repeat style trade. Now, the one that you kind of feel maybe the winds of change are coming on and that it's found a bottom is AAPL. And the reason is we haven't made any newer lows or lower highs in quite some time. We've been range bound here between that 209 1/3 to that 210 1/4, it seems. So Apple, after having a big down move, essentially 1130 onwards, has been a bit of a range trade today. You could have taken that high or low depending on however you wanted to do it. So that's been a decent look there. Before we send it to Adara, I just want to mention these are the small cap gappers we're looking at. Zap still in play. Zap just zapped itself off $3. So it holds VWAP. It holds $3. So that level still in play right now, 7 to 2. That VWAP area still giving you possible trades off ZAAP. That level has held, save and accept over here for that noon hour period. ALUR was on my watch list. HOLO was on as well. That's given up the ghost. Not surprised there. ZNTL still hanging out above the volume weighted average price. And GRDI, this one's really kind of been the king of them all in the afternoon, making higher highs and higher lows there continuously.
Yeah, I mean, what a day here. SPY is trying to push higher here. Can we get much higher? So high, I don't know. We're bouncing off the 90 MA here, but it's getting kind of rangy as well. We'll get to what, 546.60. Every time I think we'll push above it, then we'll get back down to 546.40. At one point, we got 546.26. I was trying to short it into that drop, and then I wasn't able to get filled. Tried to go long at one of these 546.40 pops. It didn't end up involved. I'm basically flat on the SPY, but happy I tried it, because if you SPY something, you owe it to yourself to try something within reason. So there we go. Didn't, this range could still get spicy. I think spicy, putting the SPY in spicy. But let's see what we do here. This is certainly, this 20 penny chop and turn is interesting. But NVDA, if there is another short I take heading into the close, it is going to be one of my favorite Mag 7 names to trade, and that's going to be NVDA. Especially with it rejecting this 131 level, I would be risking into, what is this, 131.20s? I am totally comfortable doing that. Let's get involved. Let's get low NVDA. Let's scalp. Let's get going here. I am aware we had a little bit of a bottoming tail candle these last two candles, but we're below that 90 MA. We are at a little bit of an area of resistance. And as I get involved, NVIDIA's like, I'm going to test your patience here, Adara. That's cool, NVIDIA. Everyone's built to be tested. It's about what you do with those tests. It's about how you go with it. You have to, I liked it, so I tried it. And that's what really matters here. And then NVIDIA's like, yeah, okay, time for you to leave. So I left. It's all good. There you go. What a trade. Slightly down on the day now, but man, I am so happy. I recovered from what was my worst day in a very long time, and I'm basically flat on the day now.
That's crazy.
I think to me, even though it's going to be a P&L on the P&L, I'm happy.
I think you should just punch short or long, get out of the money right at the start of the show, and trade behind the entire day and have your best day every single day, Dara.
That weirdly helps me. I mean, like, this isn't, no, I'm joking. Like, this isn't my best day.
Ram, we're riffing here and you're completely missing it.
I'm flat I am flat on the day here, but I'm really proud because I initially was like down in the dump. Well, no, okay, I'm still positive always, but I was like,
Right, yeah.
you know, I was like, my P&L was down in the dumps, so put it that way.
I feel you.
But you know, I tried to have my positivity be as green as my outfit, keep going. And even this short here, happy it got out where it did. It went up another cool 50 pennies. So
well, there
I think,
you go.
You know, it's about how you manage things, it's about how you deal with stuff. And so the mental is important. I want to shout that out.
And speaking of the fact that it continued to go up, Adira, could we be getting the winds of change here? Definitely not calling this, but the 10 period just got broken the first time on the day since essentially basically 10 to 1 on the future. We've also reclaimed 20,000. Okay, so let's see here if we get that continued move up. You know, it's been definitely, you've been trying to grasp at straws if you've been looking for the longs on the Mag 7 today. But Nvidia curling back up here. So is Meta. You're seeing a little bit on Tesla and Apple as well, not that much. But we'll have to keep an eye on the future. Remember, guys, you can't vote anymore, sadly. But don't forget, the Big Kahuna's coming up next. So if you want to hear what they have to say tomorrow, you'll vote. You'll vote for what you want on the afternoon rundown every day. We start that in about a couple of minutes here. But yeah, any final thoughts you have here, Darren?
Yeah, there's so many thoughts today on these markets. Congrats on your trades though, because you weren't here. You went for a little walk with us, but someone was saying, "Oh, great day, Sharif," in the chat. Brandon Townsend showed it to you, and I was like, "Yeah, Sharif killing it every single day."
Appreciate you.
And I mean, yeah, I'm so happy to have you here because you came here kind of at the last minute and just killed it.
And I didn't tell anybody else coming in except Obi.
Yeah, Obi was like, "Oh, so Sharif said he's like 2 minutes away," and I said.
See, guys, I woke up with a bit of a cough. It ended up being allergies because I took an antihistamine, not an actual cough. You guys see I haven't coughed the entire time. So I feel good. But I will see you guys all in 2 minutes at the big desk or at the big screen. Kill it, Adair.
Thank you. Kill it, Sharif there. We're going to see Sharif at that screen. See what tickers people chose. It's always interesting. I feel like there are a lot of times we'll get the same few tickers, but there have been some different names in the mix. Micron was in the mix. We're going to have to wait and see what tickers we get. But yeah, we have more Fed speak coming at 4 p.m. where Barkin is going to get on that mic and bark a little bit there. So Fed's Barkin was also talking a few days ago as well. So this is a Fed we have heard of. Kashkari, as Kyle Burnett calls him, Neil Kashkari, he spoke this morning saying that he thinks it'll take 1 to 2 years to get inflation to 2%. So that'll be an interesting look. Right now, all I'm looking at is this Tesla. I mean, Tesla, don't tempt me to take this short at 180.60. I was watching this for a bit. We popped a little bit higher, and we keep rejecting. The thing that stops you from doing this is we have higher lows. I think this could, of course, I don't want to say flat top break because it's not really a flat top, but we could break higher. But I think this 180.60 could be an interesting short. I don't want to take a short just to take a short, though, at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Bears versus Bulls, for killing it there. Shout out to everything you do, making sure everything's all good, keeping everything in line, making sure we don't miss anything. So shout out to Bears versus Bulls and all of the Bears and Bulls in our chat. I wonder, is there anything to be neutral? Like, you know how the Bears are like, if you're feeling more bearish, Bulls if you're more bullish. Is there a neutral one, like a snail or something, or a lamb? We need to come up with a third animal. A turtle, Ramin says, like Trenda, the trading turtle. So there we go. We need another animal. If anyone has any ideas for a market neutral animal, put that in the chat. But other than that, we're gonna have to wait and see you guys tomorrow on this show at the same bat time. Maybe a bat could be that. I don't know. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did because what a day this market has been. But right now, we're gonna have the Big Kahunas at the desk and Sharif in the green screen, guys.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you have your say every day. We got the Big Kahunas. They're locked, they're loaded, and ready to